I was offended by the yawn.
There's the Mad Money show that comes on. They talk about stocks and shit.
Sure.
That guy, he works super late and he works super early, and he only sleeps like a couple hours.
Jim Cramer?
I don't know.
Is that who you're thinking of?
Yeah, but
the one with all the buttons and shit?
Yeah.
You gotta sell.
Yeah, that's him. So he's really crazy, as
Yeah.
it turns out.
My grandfather loves him.
If you sneeze on set, he gets really fucking upset. Really fucking
Like, you
upset.
can't control
You
that,
cannot sneeze on set. You have to hold it and be like, and die.
Even if it's like between takes.
Yeah.
Crack an
You have to
artery.
die. He'll be like, "Are you fucking sick? Are you dying? Do you need to take a fucking sick day? Get off my fucking set." And if you fucking yawn, it's over. He will fire you. He was like, "Enjoy being bored at the unemployment line. Get off my set." Yeah, he's like absolutely fucking nuts about that shit.
We'll see you guys.
Shit.
Yeah.
Can't be tired.
Well, unless you can roll for save.
All right, we sound great.
Excellent. So,
That's
welcome
my
to
test.
episode
Do you mean
9
the
of
sound
Rock and
quality
Roll.
or the
Yeah, the sound's good.
Okay.
It sound good, looks good.
quality
All right.
of the content?
So, episode 9 of Rock and Roll. I forgot what we named it, but it's another Final Fantasy 9 reference. We're just gonna keep it going.
Haircut
Haircut
equals
equals
character
character
growth.
Yeah, and
In stereo.
yeah, in stereo. That is it's a Dagger reference,
In Rey Mysterio.
which nobody ever fucking named her Dagger.
Yeah, Garnet.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ugh. Thanks, Porky. We worked real hard to make it sound pretty okay. All right, great.
Let's see. There we go. Sure now with friends. Awesome. So
We have friends.
On,
Share it with them.
this episode of Rock and Roll,
It's brought to you by.
Nature Box. JK. we're not have any of that.
No, yeah, we're not shilling just yet. but
Totally
please,
JK. We're not Nature Box. We're Movement Watches.
please, somebody, fuck you, please.
I'll buy a movement watch and
Why don't we just get fucking
plug
like
them.
one of the beard clubs?
There is a Jacksonville Beard Club. Anyway, this time on Dungeons and Dragons, we talk about who we would like to get sponsored by. So, joining us today, I am your host. Jared is enraged. You can tell now by our fancy screen that Sermon spent so much time on. Your DM, Jared Dark. Joining us today are the players Chris, Dan, and Michael. I will let them introduce themselves and on their handles and their characters. Let's go ahead and start with Makolo.
Well, clearly Makolo or MTBS, and I am a ranger named Applelock.
That's all you're going to say? All right. I'm Chris. I am the Neckbeard on social media. I am Turkier, a level 4 paladin.
And I'm Dan. Gaming handle is the Danimal33. Other social media handle is Roll Critical Fit. And I am playing the Furbolg Druid known as Carrick.
Sponsored by Kitty Beer.
Sponsored by Kitty Beer.
Only the meowiest of the beers.
Yeah, looks good. All right, so last we left off, a giant shit show.
The best shit show.
The best shit show for sure. We last left off with our party breaking camp for a hard march, 2 days, to reach the besieged city of Songholm.
Oh, yeah, you're a pony. I'm on you.
Yeah,
I'm mounted.
I'm still a pony.
Well, let's
Yep.
let's get to the recap.
Yeah, we'll get there, boys and girls.
That's my recap.
Forgetting the best.
You know what?
part.
I'm gonna let you each say a sentence. That's how we're gonna recap. You're gonna say a sentence. He'll say a sentence. You'll say a sentence, and then we'll go back to you.
oh, are we going to... Okay, yeah,
God, am I
let's
in
do that.
kindergarten
All right.
again?
So who wants to start first? Well, we started introductions there, so we'll start with Dan. Dan,
Okay.
you start first. What's the first, if we were to recap the session? Start with the first chronological sentence that you can think of.
We left the city of Valkia because we were given a mission by the leader of the Dragoons, Manon. Period.
Okay, so the next chronological thing that happened is during our travels, we fought off a Yeti and its alpha male. Then what happened?
Then we made it to our next destination, and I summoned a demon.
I rolled my eyes heartily.
Is that your
Period.
sentence? I donated my axe to see what would happen next. Keep going. What happened
One
next?
sentence. Let's go.
We went on a hunt.
Oh!
I want to see if you just glance over this or not.
I seduced a wild buck by turning into a doe using wild shape.
I sat at the camp laughing my ass off as these two bozos were trying to appease the demon in its payment.
Although I stumbled quite a few times, we got the buck.
You guys did use jujitsu effectively to take it down.
It's true. You absolutely did.
And then, okay, so my sentence is, we then got information from the demon about the magical items that we were carrying.
And I watched my friend Apolock perform an ungodly task and decided to make a decision. And now you get to tell us what that decision was.
I put that shit on.
What did you put on?
Fuck, what is that thing called?
Oh my god.
Shit.
Lore Master, what is it called?
No, this is Curious of the Final Embrace.
Curious of the final embrace.
Yeah.
It is.
There it is.
I had
Bone
erased
armor.
it from my inventory, but I could still see the pencil
the
marks.
cursed cuirass.
Yep. It was a. It is a breastplate built out of.
Human
This isn't
bones.
wine. It's fucking Maduro. Relax, chode. It's beer. I'm just drinking from a very sophisticated glass.
Time for the trench run, Porkins.
Welcome to my house. This is sophistication.
That's right.
Hey, we're getting hosted.
right.
That's really awesome. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yay.
That's my friend Chris who lives in California.
Sweet.
It's awesome, man.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Appreciate it.
So I guess I'll finish it off. And then we rode out towards Songholm, and that's where we ended.
Yeah. The detail they missed is they watched Apolock die.
I mean,
And
we
then
got
they watched him come back to life. As if nothing had ever happened. Like they saw him have a heart attack, die, pulse stopped, blood was not flowing, body was starting to go cold, and then he just like opened his eyes and was like,
What's up,
"Oh,
guys?
hi, Mark."
Bring football.
Great American game.
I started watching that yesterday at home.
The Room.
No,
Or
Disaster
Artist?
Artist.
It's a great
Is it-
movie.
Come on,
Well,
Greg. Bring football.
Great movie.
That's when I lost it the first time.
I have not seen it yet.
Still need to see that one.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Great movie. Anyway,
I am excited.
so we're on our
to-
way to Songholm.
On the way to Songholm, you guys are riding pretty much night and day. Where we ended was you could see the white fires in the distance that are kind of engulfing the town. As you can kind of see the silhouette in the distance, it is very early morning, probably like it's not quite dawn. There's just little flickers of light on the distance. But you cannot see any edge of the sun yet. You guys are just a couple miles out, though, and when another party is riding away from the town towards you guys.
Okay.
Take it away, gentlemen.
All right. This is. Hey, I hear this is the time that we start
So-
role playing.
So, do ponies have good vision? Can you see?
I can't see shit. I'm wall-eyed, dude.
Like, where the fuck we got, dude? Just keep me going straight. Well, Applelock, do you want to? Don't have to scout ahead. Well, you're kind of fucking dead anyway, sort of.
I'm just like running up and down the line.
You're just like, guys, I feel great.
Yeah, well, you've been hanging out with your boy. You've noticed that he hasn't eaten or slept or lost a skip in his step at all. He's just continued walking, no problem.
Nice.
Must be nice to have all this confounded energy.
Yeah.
He carb loaded before we left.
Okay. So, are you okay with drop in your mount.
So am I talking to you as you're a pony?
I can't talk as I'm a pony. I'm asking you, OOC. I can change back.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll
So make some
I'll
make some
dismount.
pony noises. Signal.
And I'm
Dan
looking-
has the flu.
And I look at you as the pony, and I'm trying to figure out if you're trying to talk to me and tell me something. So I just dismount.
And I'm going to shift back. And I'm going to say, are they like within speaking distance? Can they?
They will be soon. They are riding on horses away from the town. There's a cart as well, since they've gotten probably a couple 100 feet closer.
I'm going to approach Mainen's mount and be like, hey, do you see those riders in the distance?
I've got one eye, but it's pretty decent. I do indeed.
Always asking the right guys.
I ask the right questions all the time.
True.
Okay, so should we be on guard?
It wouldn't hurt to take a defensive position, but they're either riding towards us or they're riding away from the city. Either way, I don't think we have to worry about mounted enemies. So I'm not particularly concerned, but we will definitely hail them when they come close.
All right, let's press forward until we meet them.
Okay.
Onwards.
You will see Mainen falls back for a
I'm
second.
sorry. Did you want this?
Okay.
It's pretty good flavor. I actually took the time to mix a flavor, so
Look, it's for the
it wouldn't
white
be
people.
the same old,
So it's okay.
same old. I was inspired by
You
Kyle.
look white.
I have gray skin. And I'm a giant.
You're not in your human form now? You're in your natural state?
Nice.
Hey, even in his human form, he still has like gray skin and shit brown hair.
It's reddish brown. Either way. It's
Sir.
a spicy poop.
Hemorrhaging butthole poop.
Yeah, there you go. All right.
That paints
He's
a
got
picture.
hemorrhoid poop hair.
So it looks like Napoleon. Gotcha.
Probably did it.
Yeah. As you guys are continuing in your advancement,
I put that shit like next to you. There you go. That's close enough.
you do see Mainen drop back to the cart where Sverg is, and he grabs what appears to be like a kind of like a very long spear. It's like got this like barbed hook on the end. It looks kind of like a dragon's talon instead of a spearhead. Like it's almost like it's like three prongs in the shape of talons on the end. But a small banner is attached to it. And as he like raises it kind of in like the foot step of his saddle, has the banner of the dragoons. And the people that are coming towards you guys, actually, as they see him start to, he picks up pace a little bit after he grabs that, and you hear him go, "Yeah!" and kick into his horse and move faster. As he starts to move, and everybody else who's on horses also kind of like kicks into the stirrups and starts to move a little quicker too. The people that are on the road up ahead actually move off of the road, and they yield it. Common knowledge for you, that's etiquette. When somebody who's more important than you raises their banner, it means move the fuck off the road. So,
Okay.
I don't know if you wish to share that information or not. To you guys, it looks like Mainen just like grabbed a banner that happens to have like the dragoon flag attached to it, and then just like kicked off along with Lothar and Castor right behind him, like in tow. Mm-hmm. And as soon as he did that, like the other people like moved off the road.
So now they're going away from us.
The people who are on the road up ahead, they're probably about 80 feet away now. They like moved off the road entirely. Horses and all like moved completely off of it. So, Who is doing what? The cart is just still moving at the same pace.
Well, I got off the pony, so I'm probably trucking along at the back at this point.
Sure.
So I probably have to yell out to these two because they're ahead of me because I'm a small dwarf, and I'm like, should we stop and ask them what's going on?
I kind of feel like we should probably stick with Mainan.
Sounds good.
Cue the dun, 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 dun.
Do you guys start trucking?
We're known as sprinters. Yeah.
Mikola, you do not feel out of breath.
Still trucking along, I guess.
Yep.
You're like running backwards as I'm like trying to catch you.
Yep.
I could probably carry you.
Probably could at this point.
He has a strength of 18. He can carry himself.
Yeah.
He just picks himself up and starts hovering.
Thanks, Rufus.
Okay.
Mainan and the other two dragoons appear to have just kind of passed these guys, like, I don't give a fuck style. And they kind of like get ready, appear to be getting ready. And then they stop as they see you guys kind of running up the road as well. And like one guy like takes off his hat real quick and like lowers his head a little bit. And the others just kind of keep doing whatever they were doing before. You are you can interact with them if you want now.
Yeah, I want to. I'll slow my pace and say, what is it that you seem to be running? What are you running from?
Well,
If you
my
haven't-
lord,
if you
I
have
can only assume that since you travel with the dragoons. If you look yonder, you can see that our fair city is smoking.
Mm-hmm.
It's on fire and appears to be under attack by some foreign entity.
Okay. Do you know where they came from?
I do not. I was just attempting to bring my trades wares here, and yeah, it happened suddenly, and there was some kind of assault somewhere in the low base of the city, as well as in Hightown, and yeah, we bucked out as soon as we could. So according to these guys, it's been going on for a while now, but it appeared sudden when we arrived. We figured the guards would have it under control, but it looks like they're actually falling back. So we decided to not press our luck. We are leaving the town.
Well, I'm glad that you are all safe, but you should get as far away from this place as possible.
That is my plan. Thank you for
And-
the advice.
Right.
And I continue trucking along the road.
Yep. He like throws his Phrygian back on, and they get rolling.
Right.
As
Sounds
you
like
are
the hedge.
as you are approaching the town, you see a few more people on foot who appear to have been like yielded the road, Mainan and all that, and the grass, and then they seem to have like gotten up and gotten back on the road as well. Most of them are in rags, or you know, their skin is covered in soot. You stop to talk to any of them?
Yeah.
Sure.
I approach, I guess, is it like a group of people or is it
Yeah,
just
sure.
like,
There's like the first group you come across is like 5 people.
okay.
They're all like, one lady's got like a baby and like she's like wearing the baby and like a sheet, and then like a couple guys. They look like like 2 families basically got together and left. And
Gotcha.
one lady's got like all of their life savings like attached to the back. Another dude's like carrying some stuff.
All right. Well, the first question I'll ask is, everyone who is here, is everyone okay?
Worse for wear, but we've escaped with our lives.
Is anyone hurt?
Everything that plagues us is superficial, but we've lost our homes and our hearths.
Is there anything that we can do to aid you in any way.
Are you on your way to take back Song home
That's the plan.
and give him hell?
Okay. Did you see anything before you ran?
Of course. There were fires where we were at. There's creatures that we've never seen before, as well as several armed figures assaulting everything and everyone.
Do you know what they look like? Or
I got a glimpse of one as it crashed into my neighbor's house and killed everyone inside of it. Well, it looked like a dog man.
a dog man, you say?
Do I notice anything broken in their kit or anything?
They've got like a bunch of broken valuables for the most part. There's not like they're peasants. They don't really have a whole lot to begin with. The men are wearing Phrygians, which basically gives them status as free men. They're not slaves. Is essentially all that the Phrygian marks them as. It's kind of like the hat that like Link wears. It's in the North, basically most men who are free, who don't have status, keep a symbol of being free. Sometimes it's like something as simple as like a brooch on their cloak, because no slave would ever be trusted with something valuable. And other times it's just a Phrygian, which is the mark of like, originally it was the mark of like a thinking man. And then it was just like, well, slaves are dumb and therefore can't wear Phrygian because they're dumb, and dumb people can't wear smart people hats. And then it just kind of became like a fashion icon. Right. So that's how it erupted.
Is anybody obviously wounded in such a way that would deter them from running?
Looks like scrapes and like mild, like small burns and stuff like that. For the most part, you'd have to actually like medically check them out if you wanted to determine the extent of their wounds.
Okay.
One of them said he saw armed figures.
Yeah.
Can he describe what he saw?
I think you already described the dog person.
He described the dog person that was breaking into his neighbor's home. The other figures he saw that clashed with the guards, he describes them as men that looked like as if they were mangled, armored but tattered, with glowing green eyes.
That's what I was going to ask.
That will forever haunt our dreams.
We know now. Let's do my last bit of role playing here. So I walk over to the lady who is holding a child, and I pull out my cold blanket and I rip it in half, and I give her half of the cold blanket, and I'm like, it gets cold at night. Send them on their way.
Cool. Well, thank you
I was
for your donation of cloth.
Do you guys have enough food for your escape?
We have almost nothing, my lord. Just what we have, what we plan when we find other refugees to trade for food.
I'm going to give them some of the iron rations.
Okay.
That I hold, and maybe put together a small salve out of my herbalism kit that'll keep the baby warm at night.
Roll medical. How long do you guys plan on stopping for?
This is it.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to give them something.
I mean, basically, how long do you plan on spending creating the solve?
I probably just give her a couple of herbs and say like, "Hey, this is
do
something."
this, do that. Okay.
Yeah.
Roll a medicine check.
Ooh. You're not using that anymore, are you?
No. That's a 7.
Altogether with your bonuses from the medicine kit?
From the medicine, yes.
The medicine kit?
From my medicine bonus. Oh, and that's with my proficiency.
Yeah.
Actually, that would be...
Should be your wisdom bonus plus your proficiency, which is 2.
That is going to be a...
Plus the 2 from your kit that it gives you? I think it's a 2. Maybe it's a 4. I don't remember. I know it's significant.
If we are assuming 4, then that's a 12.
Okay. You think that she has an adequate understanding of what she will need to do in order to...
Couple of herbs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're
You're trying to teach her how to like roll a joint and like shotgun the baby.
Patrick's about to show up.
Yep. It's about to 420 in the chat.
All right, so yeah, that's the last thing I wanted to do.
Okay.
I just wanted to do some participation stuff.
Sure. You guys have been talking to them for like 5 minutes,
Oh
Yep.
shit.
roughly.
We're going on.
Okay, yeah. Let's get a running.
Sure.
Well, now
You-
we know it's the hedge.
You do pass a few other groups of refugees, much like the same status as those ones, really. Or not refugees, people who are fleeing the fucking city. So, first group you encounter is like a group of 4 people. Next one is 6. And the next one is a group of 5 people. Do you guys stop to talk to them?
I think I'm gonna yell as we run past. Get somewhere safe. We'll take back this city.
Yep.
They appear to like yield the road somewhat to you guys as you come running up without stopping.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really acknowledge what you say, though. They look pretty crestfallen.
I just keep trucking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
We got to go.
Play Thunder Horse.
You guys reach kind of this mounting of the crest of this hill that you guys have kind of been like running up to eventually to elevation. And you are basically, you're running up to this like palisade wall. And there are no guards here at all. And from the entrance that you are in, you can clearly look up and see the more elevated city that is ahead of this palisade installation. Which, for those of you who do not know what palisade is like incredibly long. Did you ever watch Braveheart? It was the wooden fortification in the very beginning that they like broke into. That's basically what this is. It looks like a long-standing palisade fortification.
Okay.
Yeah. Once you get up to it and get inside of it, you see it's basically just a giant mess. There's blood and the mud everywhere. People are trying to save each other's lives without any real consistent knowledge or of medicine, it seems. Like there's like one guy who seems to be like wearing a butcher's apron, kind of like trying to help people out as like they keep dropping people off, and there's like a few women who are helping him. But you actually think that guy's profession is butcher. And he's just kind of like holding people down, stemming the bleeding, while the nurses like seem to be trying to like sew people up. So it's a gruesome situation. There's fires everywhere. There's the runnings of many soldiers around, but they all seem to be located on the other side of this whole encampment. Roll an intelligence check, Makolo.
18.
Okay. You know that this portion of the city is called Raiders Ulm. Raiders Ulm was basically the first place that existed before Songholm. Essentially, this is where like pirates that would eventually become the two big families. They used to just kind of nestle in here.
So like the beginning of the town.
The beginning of the town, yeah. It's essentially just a giant wooden fort before you get there. Normally, it's like a staging ground for resting armies that would be heading out to sea. You know that like up there's like a significant more like steps that are built up that raise up to the actual city walls, which are made out of stone. And it appears that a majority of the guards have fallen back to here. You do see the large flag of the Dragoons planted off in the distance. It goes up another hill that seems to be in the middle of Raiders Ulm, with it like another palisade fortress. The palisade gates are up; they're not down. There doesn't appear to be a whole lot of movement, but there is 2 guards that are stationed at it. and up on the top of that hill is like a longhouse.
And that's going into the city.
That is like, not to give it away, what's on the sheet, but essentially what you guys are looking at, you guys walked into this palisade gate. You see the city up there, and then on a smaller hill, basically right in front of you, is another, like a small hill with another fort on top of it. And
That's
that's
our
where
checkpoint, guys.
you guys see Mainon's flag parked, like planted in the soil outside.
Well, guess we got to move on to the next one, where the flag is.
You gonna point the flag out to us, or do we all?
I mean,
the
you
hill.
guys see the flag. He knows what this is called, and he knows what
Gotcha.
it's supposed to be. He knows that this is
So I
like.
assume that's where we're meeting. Our
Well, that's
contacts,
definitely
or-
his flag. It's got
Okay.
like the 3 silver dragon talons at the top of the lance, basically. So
So I say we move on.
Yeah.
To
I mean,
Mainon's
yeah.
flag.
yep. I mean, there's like a bunch of like peasants and shit running everywhere. Like everybody's covered in like soot and blood, it appears. So unless you guys are actively saying you're stopping, I assume you're just going up the hill to the fort.
Yeah, my impulse as my character is to try to help, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna ask you guys as a courtesy, like, I feel like there's too many things to do.
So, to both of you, which I think both of you, I don't remember if your character specifically has. You'll just have to tell me, and we'll work it into your character.
Okay.
I know you have experienced a war zone. You have a military background. You left because of shit like this. You are in a war zone, a bona fide war zone. Have you been in a military engagement before?
Not of this scale.
Okay. You're probably more used to like skirmishes and stuff like that. You know that this is probably the chaos of battle. So it's overwhelming, especially for Dan, who's never seen anything like this, because this is not how war is waged in the Conclave.
And then
There are feuds that you guys have with other clans, and there are feuds that but it's all lawfully committed.
right.
And it's all agreed upon. And nobody does
No shady business.
nobody does. Everything is basically has the blessing of somebody. You know, you can't just wipe people out in the Conclave. You know, that's not a thing that is done. So what you're seeing here is just pure suffering.
And I guess when my whole clan was destroyed and whatnot, I wasn't there to. I saw the aftermath.
This echoes that aftermath.
Okay.
So it weighs heavily on both you and your companion Turkir. You kind of look back because you're actually in a city that you know of, so naturally you're the most comfortable here, even if it's not really by choice. But you look back and you see both of your companions are kind of like looking around, and they both seem concerned or worried. Both of them do not look fine.
I mean, if you guys want to hang back, see if you want to try and help anybody, I can go up ahead and see what the game plan is, what's going on. So you can, gather your thoughts.
And you want to? Are you saying this out of character? Or are you doing like an
To
in
you.
character?
To you, yes, to both of you.
You're
Actually,
saying it in character, yeah.
In character.
Yeah, you think he's, as you're like looking around at this place like a place of helping people, and you're looking around like with your heart falling to your guts. Your companion Applelock.
Alcohol.
Alcohol. Earlier I called you Applelock,
Free-
Pop Lock, and Drop It.
Freezy pop.
Kakarot and Freezy Pop.
Carrot cake.
And
Okay, so I'm trying to act.
Yep.
I'm trying to like
And
in scene.
Just Van Damme.
I don't know. I don't know what to do with this. I've got to help somebody. So I'm gonna start to approach somebody instinctively, just to.
Before you start moving, and I try to grab your giant hand with my tiny hand, and I try to stop you real quick. And I'm looking at you with these like cold dead, like not these cold dead eyes, but like the eyes who have seen too much for a moment, but with a little bit of clarity. Like, we have to stop the bleeding. We have to go to where we need to go. That's how we help this town.
I'm gonna kind of steel myself a little bit and just. You're right. Let's go win it back.
Since you turned around to talk to them, you see Bale and Nicodemus are kind of catching up to you guys. Bale seems like he's fine. You see Nicodemus, he looks like he's like like somebody who's like gonna throw up from fucking doggy paddling his way to the fucking gate.
Spellcasters.
Yeah, he looks like he smokes 2 packs a day.
All right, well, I can want to see if they want to go up ahead and that we can meet them.
I'm ready.
No, we all need to go.
We've got to move.
Okay. You guys continue to walk.
Yeah, we all need to make the move.
Sure.
Because I want you guys in your right headset. Because we're about to go into a war zone.
We have no choice. We're already here.
You're about halfway up the hill to the fortress with the long hall when Bale and Nicodemus finally catch up. So you see Nicodemus make a perception check, everybody.
Nat 20.
Bale's eyeballing pride. He actually is strategically really close to his character without trying to be incredibly. He's trying to be innocuous, but it's not. You see right through it. What'd you guys roll?
3.
I got
You're focused on this hill, man.
13.
Okay. You notice that Nicodemus kind of like falls in at the rear, and uncharacteristically that Bale is behind you.
All right, so I want to get closer to him.
He hasn't like made any like weird movements or anything, but yeah.
But I can tell.
Yeah.
So
he already did say he wanted to be close to the sword in the battle, so this doesn't seem too far from a stretch from what he said.
Oh, see, I told him I would give him the sword when the time is right. Like he knows it's.
But is he
coming.
going to try to take it
Yeah,
from
that's
you?
what I'm.
Yeah,
Because
trying to prevent.
Yeah, because I don't want him to be stupid and do something right before we go in, and he dies before he gets a chance to even do anything for his city.
He seems really concerned as he's like.
Yeah.
He seems like as you're walking up the hill, you notice like even though he's right behind him, his eyes are on like the greater city and the smoke plumes that are rising up from Songholm. So, you guys make your way to like where the 2 guards are, and like one of them is just like, huh, and then you see the other one immediately like fall down to a fucking knee, like he's got like his shield and like drops it all the way to the ground and like kneels down leaning on his spear, and the other guy like looks over and does the same thing. They appear to be like looking directly at Bale, and as he passes, one of them says, "Welcome home, my liege."
Okay.
Turn to Bale
So-
and I'm like, you must be a very popular guy.
I am I'm one of the sons of the family that runs this town for the king.
Well, let's save it for that family.
Save it for these people.
Ooh, he got me.
Save it so there's something for those people on the road to come back to. You can see like he looks like he's gonna tear up. You know, he's watching his home die in front of him.
I'm gonna place a giant-sized hand on his shoulder.
He actually like holds your wrist and like it's brutal. Like he looks like he's on the verge of tears. So
I'm with him. Like Carrick is with him. Like, you know, giving the squeeze.
yeah.
And it's a little bit firmer, I think, than he may be expecting. Just like, let's go.
You guys go up the rest of the steps to the hall and the other 2 guards that are there. One of them is actually like dressed in like ornate chainmail armor. and he turns to greet you guys. He's a bald man with like little like prickles of hair kind of growing. He looks older, and he's half of his face is like immeasurably disfigured. Like it looks like a bear like got him here and then just like clawed all the way down his face. And he turns, the other guy who's there, who looks very similar to the other guards, he immediately dips and bows, and the other guy says, "The favorite song, or the favorite son of Songholm returns. My lord could not have returned at a better time." And Vale says, "I believe we are needed inside." He says, "Indeed," and he opens the door for you guys. As you walk in, there's a smell of like old spilt beer. It's the senses, as well as like what would be like tobacco, maybe incense, in this dimly lit wooden fortress. It looks kind of poorly maintained at first sight, but you realize that that's just kind of the age of the place showing. This place has it's almost like to you, a druid, this place breathes. It has lineage. Sons of sons have died here. And in Runic, you can see and the three main pillars on this place. The oldest pillar that you know of, or that you can identify, has in runes the clan name Warsong on it. And then on the other two pillars, it looks kind of like a triangle. The pillars are in like a triangle fashion. On these two, one of them says Helfin, and the other one says Skaldru, which you recognize them as the one house that no longer is here, and that was once a great house, and the other two houses that currently reside here, Skaldru and Helfin. There are...
Which Bales of Helfin, right?
Bale is in Helfin,
Yeah.
Yep. There is a large table, and there's a lot of what appears to be what you identify what would be they're called wreckers or rickiers. Rickiers are it's a military rank, or kind of like a title. Veterans, officers, and like the bodyguards of the noble ruling class be rickiers. They're kind of like picture them as like colonels. So
Okay.
Yep. And then you nearby you do see on the other side of the table arguing all together. There's Manon, who's being quiet. In addition, there is a cadre of dragoons standing around. And at the forefront, you see Castor and Lothar, who are kind of behind Manon, being kind of quiet. You see one you've never seen before. She has long brown hair tied into a ponytail, and is wearing this purple scale armor that looks kind of like the plating is here, and then there's chainmail that goes underneath, and then like fur rimming around the neck and the shoulder guards.
You're hitting all my buttons.
In addition to that, she appears to be arguing very fiercely alongside two familiar faces, Keldon and Brant.
Now you're hitting his buttons.
Yeah. So Keld is here. And you see Brant like kind of like nodding at certain times, and then like also like looking like he's gonna disagree, like he does that inhale, like he's gonna start fucking talking, and then like Keld kind of bursts out and he's like, no, listen here, you fucking chode. That is not what we're gonna do. This is the plan of action. and there appears to be kind of like a little Lego set in the middle that like appears to be their rendition of a poorly built 5-year-old's version of the city.
Nice.
They appear to be using almost anything to represent anything.
I imagine there's not a whole lot of stuff to be had. I mean, you're not dealing in Monty Python levels of models here.
Yeah.
It's only a model. Okay. So they're arguing. I'm gonna look at you guys. Should we?
I don't even think I walk directly up to that conversation.
Okay. So
Yeah.
going around the
Yeah,
table.
let's go.
Yeah.
Should we?
Yep.
All right.
You guys walk up, and the one dude who seems to be kind of in charge on the other side, who seems to be arguing with them, he's wearing this like long crimson cape, in addition to his like very similar outfit to the dude who was outside, was like missing half a face, except he's more like well put together. He does look older. He's got like long, light brown hair with streaks of gray, especially in like the sides right here. And he does not appear to be as like passionately spoken as Keld is, or the other female that is alongside him. But the other Rakirs that are there appear to be fucking yelling back and forth. There's like 2 or 3 that are like constantly trying to make counterpoints alongside the other guy.
Okay.
As you walk up, like Manon looks over at you guys and says, "Well, we are about to get started. You've arrived just in time." The other guys
started, eh?
stop arguing as Bale kind of like walks up. And Bale looks directly at the other person who seems to be in charge, and he says, "Control your men, Thane." And says, "Of course, my lord." And he kind of like looks over to them, and he doesn't need to say anything. They immediately stop talking. And that's when Manon kind of like steps up, and he's says, "We have to retake the city. I understand that your men are hurting. I understand that your people are dying. I understand that everything that you have to fight for is in flames right now. The city will be taken back. You will die for it before you give it up, or you can die right here. I don't think I'm going to give you a different option." And the other person says, "I never planned on giving up the city. I just plan on digging in our heels, making sure that our resource lines are built and that we can settle in. We have the docks under control. We can pinch them." And you see like Keld about to fucking erupt again, and Brant like puts a hand on his shoulder, and Manon just goes like this, and he goes, "These enemies are not like any other you have faced. They will not run out of supplies. They will not run out of bodies to throw at the situation. They will not run out of horrors. They will not run out of fire. They do not want your gold. They want all of us dead. You can command your forces here to retake the city, or you can relinquish command to me, and I will fucking hang you from the smallest branch on the smallest tree." Bale kind of interrupts and is like, "That won't be necessary. Tiror is one of my father's greatest generals. He will definitely assist us. Tiror, give us a status update." And Tiror, the dude who appears to be the rank of Thane, which for you, Makolo, you recognize Thanes to be leaders of men. They are either usually Viking captains or incredibly trusted advisors underneath lords of men. The only other higher ranks than this are Huskarls that are intended like specifically to be a king or a leader of a clan's companion. Like that's like their party, their most trusted persons, and then the Hersiers, which Hersiers are general military leaders. Usually what occurs is when a house goes to war, the Thanes and Huskarls get elevated to Hersier status. Usually they're named in times of trouble. Bless you.
Thank you. Fired. It appears so.
It appears so.
All right.
The
That was somebody's phone.
Nope. Just
sorry everyone, Chris's dog just
the
totally
dog
broke the fucking.
bored out of his fucking mind.
He
He's
broke the
asleep.
game. Oh man, I've never heard a snarl like that come out of your dog before. That was pretty
You've
good.
not been here long enough. Then
I guess not.
noises come out of this.
I've heard him, make noises before for sure.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Anyway,
He says, we've pulled out all the armed forces that we can from the inner city. We believe that there are 3 points to hold right now. The docks appears to be in good condition, but we have almost no way of communicating with them right now. Our last communication said that they were holding it effectively, even though they were on the lower land. It's just that that's where a majority of our soldiers are. As it turns out, beer and whores and boats. So that is their favorite place to be. Not to mention, as the city went up in flames, the ships that saw the fires or saw the smoke from the fires immediately sailed for port. So they've been reinforced multiple times over. Majority of our guards from here are people who've fallen through the city. Last we heard, when we were holding in the city, we were holding the temple, so that way we could hold communications more easily with the docks as it's closer. Before we were pushed out, last we heard was that the keep is struggling and would fall without reinforcements. My advice here was to continue to push and make forays when allotted, and wait for allies that are nearby. The Dale Guard are raising their banners, and House Eyeblight has already marched from the Eye. Roll an intelligence check, everybody.
15.
15.
nat 20.
Cool. So you guys are aware that the Eye is where the Eyeblight calls home. It's a giant plateau. Essentially, what happened is history says that Thor and Odin got into a drinking match, which eventually turned into I'm stronger than you match, in which case Thor threw his hammer and created the Hall of the Dwarves. And Odin says, well, now your tiny people will have somewhere to go and hide and look up and wonder what's there. And so he used his spear and cut off the top of one lonely mountain that stood where it is, just the Eye. And the top of that mountain was cut off and left like basically in a giant plateau. And that's where House Eyeblight calls home, is at the top of that fort. They have a fortress on the top of that mountain.
Okay.
So you all get that. Chris, geographically speaking, those guys are probably like fucking month at least away. And the Dale Guard, who are a lesser known house, if they're just now calling banners, they probably wouldn't be here for like a quarter of the year. Take them like 3 months to raise banners across their lands and then pull them here. As he continues to say that, he says, I don't believe that a counterattack into the city with no cause or reason or expectation of no retribution is ideal. We will get cut off. We will fall behind. Our men will start to retreat, and we will die. If we were to fight anywhere, we would be fighting towards a keep, which we know that they are losing the battle, or we'd be fighting towards the docks to reinforce them and then be in a worse position because you can't counterattack from the docks very easily. People will kind of start arguing a little bit at this point. Like, people kind of stand up and start arguing. Like, Kel basically just opens his fat fucking mouth and is just like, we have to do something. And then people just start fucking arguing right away again. Is there anything any of you guys try to say or do during this time?
I'm going to step up.
Are you
And
turning into 8-foot dude? Okay. So you
And-
immediately turn into fucking 8-foot Kakarot.
And I'm just going to yell, enough. In the loudest, most imposing giant voice that I can.
Roll me a d20 and add either your charisma or your strength, whichever bonus you prefer.
That one. 9.
You look like you turn into a giant and you're like, enough. And everybody just kind of looks at you and they immediately look like they're about to start arguing, but then they stop when Manon steps forward again and says, I don't recommend you open your mouth again unless you wish to be twisted in half by him. And then everybody just kind of is like, shuts the fuck up. Thank you. And then he looks at them and says, as you can tell, I have pulled in our allies, the giant Ken, as well as an emissary from the dwarven clans. And he points to you.
Hey. You want to do something a little bit more heroic?
We are not alone here.
No, because before you yelled, I was gonna slam my hammer on the shield.
Yep. Make
I'm-
everybody go, ow!
I'm gonna,
Mop,
Mop! Mop!
and I'm going to say, outside of this encounter, has anyone here dealt with creatures such as this before?
Like, you see, like, Nicodemus kind of like flipping through his book real quick. And he like looks over at like the city and looks back and kind of like snaps his fingers and like opens his hand and there's like ash there and he goes, the ash kind of like hits the table and like more of like a 3D, like out of this ash 3D model of the city like kind of like floats up and is like, it's wispy, but it's much more apparent than what was there before. And Manon like takes out a small knife, like it's like a longer knife, but takes out a knife and points at like where your camp is. He says, "Okay, so what I recommend is a 2-pronged attack. One is to facilitate correcting the roads or the path to the temple, as it is a straight path from the gate. I understand it is a long and what could be treacherous. While the other attack is a counterattack into the deeper forays of the city towards the main gate. The whole objective is to give the docks the time that they require to free themselves and meet up and bolster the temple. If we can take back the eastern portion of the city, we will be in much better standing." It's kind of like what it looks like. Let me put some buildings on here so it's not so. doesn't look so awful.
Did anybody answer the question?
Which question?
Has anybody ever seen the thralls before?
It's kind of like silent, and then Mainin kind of just continued to talk.
Oh, okay.
You didn't roll loud enough.
You notice that Mainin did just flat out fucking lie to these guys.
Yeah. Mainin told everybody else not to talk. Did you?
Oh, I thought he told you not to talk.
No, he
every-
told
said it to
every-
everybody.
he said-
technically.
He said,
because he tried to get the hall to shut up.
Ah,
and then he goes, unless you want to be twisted in half by the giant.
ah.
Everyone shut the hell up. I was going to make my heroic
Not today.
speech. I'll save my heroic speech.
You don't know if we'll get another chance.
Trust me, I have my cool points moment when I finally delivered this sword to, to my dude.
I thought you were going to mention that one time where you turned into a doe and seduced a buck. That was...
Dude, I feel like my dude is gonna fuck up.
Well, that's his prerogative.
Yeah, but he's a good guy. Don't really want to lose him.
Who, Bale? I mean,
Or he's a competent warrior.
I like Bale a lot. It's just the sword makes your desires possible.
See, you'll fuck up and get your head cut off.
We'll see.
Can't fix that.
This is more or less what the city was. My problem. Bell's problem. Should have been here in person. Could have done this live.
Unless we get sponsored by Crayola.
That's right. Use sponsor code Crayola Rock and Roll to get 0% off your next purchase. That would be the fucking
Somebody's
tightest
gonna go on
sponsor code of all time.
Support. How can I help you? I tried using a discount code, but it didn't work.
So where are we? We're here. Here. We are here.
Correct. I just say nuke it all.
Start over.
Uh,
We'll build a better one.
I'm going to kill something. So let's.
and let's see. Hold on one second.
Can't wait to see.
There might not be a whole lot of wild shaping. Because I got some pretty nasty shit in my spell book now.
Bale says, "What's the accounting of your men, Tiror?" And says, "Well, I have about 6 seasoned warriors who serve as my Rakir in my detachment. I pulled about 60 Dringir out of the city, and there are 20 freeholders. We had many more, but they have since died in the fighting or have abandoned us in our cause. Freeholders are basically just it's like the lowest rank you can be.
Right.
In a military, you have like no colors, no part of the uniform really. You're a dude who's free, essentially. You don't have to be anything other than a dude. Or I'm sorry, a freeholder is actually somebody who owns land, and who is like required to fight by law. Like, you know, essentially his land lies in somebody else's land, and he's just required to fight because that's the fucking law. Yeah, he says they have 20 freeholder, and that's people who have come mostly from the surrounding areas. We have almost no freedmen, which freedmen are kind of like volunteers. It's like that's the only thing where you have to be free. Usually the only piece of the uniform that exists is a Phrygian. That's it, which is that link hat. It's the hat that I wear. That's kind of what it looks like.
Right.
Yeah. It looks kind of like a cool guy beanie. Yep. And you guys didn't really see any of those. You saw Drengirs, which Drengirs are basically just professional soldiers. Those are either freedmen who have stuck around long enough to become professional soldiers and have existed in battle, or they are simply just paid warriors in a house's cause. So, yeah. Dead? Yeah.
See,
It did. Should we put on new coals or move to repack it in a bit?
probably repack it soon.
Okay. So what we'll do is we'll get through this, and before we go to the actual Battle of Songholm, we will take a 5-minute break, so that way this can be repacked and everything, and give anybody who's actually watching us, my poor wife, who is stuck with us because she married me, idiot, and Porky a chance to breathe. So, after he gives kind of a report of the men and their condition, those are the fighting ones. Manon kind of once again interjects and says, "That is exactly the perfect amount of men that we require. How about that? I will only take those who volunteer, but I will request that I speak with all of your soldiers before we go out to fight." Tiror says, "That won't be necessary. I am volunteering to fight alongside you. I have a Rekir in mind who can easily hold this area. And if we can make our way to the docks, then it would best serve that I get there to rile those men under my control and not have a Dragoon or a Rekir pull them into line. I want them to actually know that there is military order here, and that the Emperor's hand is not just bailing them out, or that the King's hand is not just bailing them out." Bale says, "Okay, so we need to split our two-pronged assault. How do we wish to do this?" Manon says, "Well, of course, I will volunteer to be on the vanguard. We just need to find," and like you hear like a resounding like from all the other dragoons, and most of the Brakirs are like vanguard, and Manon says, "Well, we'll need volunteers to fight their way to the temple and rescue the refugees that are there, as well as open the way to get to the docks." Lothar says, "If there are innocents in this war, I will be their shield," and steps forward. Says, "I will not allow this city's innocents to fall needlessly anymore." Manon says, "Thank you for your contribution, Lothar, but we will also need more bodies than just you to throw at this problem." Fired!
Fucking peaked.
Fucking fired.
Get off my set. And you see like one of the Rakirs at the door, the guy with like the mangled face, and he kind of seems to like hobble over a little bit. He's got like a little bit of like a limp to him, not much, but it is noticeable. He says, "I shall go for the fight. I will also aid in freeing the temple of the grip of whatever these forces are and open the way to the docks." and some of the other Rakir are like talking amongst each other. Tiror, of course, proclaims that he must head to the temple in order to free the way to the docks. So that way he can gather and rile the men that are there. And he will take any other volunteers. What do you guys say? Bale immediately said Vanguard as well, just so you guys are aware.
So lore master, our two choices again.
You can be in the Vanguard, or you can go to the temple to assist basically in freeing it, which it is located basically right next to the gate that leads to the docks. So like by virtue, if you're freeing the temple, you're freeing up that gate. So that way you guys can get to your men that are at the docks. So it's like a two-pronged job.
Right. And then the Vanguard is the assault.
The Vanguard is the assault. They're heading
going to
into
the
the
keep.
thickest fighting. They're going to fight their way to the keep. And when they can no longer fight back, their objective will be to fall back to the temple. So
Somebody's got to clear the temple, so the Vanguard has somewhere to fall back to.
well, when they last left, it wasn't that it was unguarded and undefended. As far as they know, there are soldiers there and there are people there, but those soldiers would be under duress due to the siege. So basically, their fear is that they've cleared out the temple and killed everybody there, or that they're going to. But they think the temple has been held. Their last word that they got is that the temple is being held. They just didn't have... The temple's pretty big. Like, you can almost see it from where you're at now. Like, you see like a small like wooden dragon thing. It's a very large temple. What they're saying is that that just wasn't a proper staging area for combat. When they started to get pushed from the like one portion of the city, the eastern portion of the city, when they started to get pushed from there and the west, they just couldn't have all their guards fall back to the temple and have a bunch of people there. And so Tiror fought his way to here and Raidersholm and turned it into his actual base of operations and has been holding it ever since.
Okay, so
Clearly, we're not going to split. Like us.
Or are we?
Are we going to?
let's have a character. Let's have a timeout character moment.
Yeah, he basically what we'll say is Bale will say he's in the Vanguard. Tiror will say that he is going to free the docks. That's his main objective. He's not even concerned with the temple. He wants to open up the docks. The other guy who hobbled over says that he is going to free the people at the temple and rescue the guards and provide relief to those that are there. So let me make a list.
Who's going where?
Yeah. So we have Vanguard and we have Temple.
Where's the purple bay gonna be at? You know what I'm saying?
She screamed Vanguard when it came up.
Pretty sure all of our Dragoon dudes are in the bank with me.
All the people who are wearing dragon armor were like Vanguard.
Except for Lothar?
Lothar did proclaim that he actually said Vanguard and then said, well, if there's innocents at the temple, I actually have to renege. I must go there.
Okay, so character moments.
I mean, so what will happen is Tiror will actually look to his Rakirs and say, I need one more volunteer to go to the temple. Discuss amongst yourself. You have 3 minutes. Mainan turns around and says, I want you all to have a decision by the time they finish their timeline as well.
Okay, 3 minutes. What are we doing?
My character probably.
Not talking to the microphone.
It would be pretty split on this.
Because we don't know if the temple's fallen or if it's still being held
Right, but if there are innocents that we can save
to get them out of
to
there.
get them
You're
out, or
morally bound as a
at that point
paladin.
you are reinforcing yourself because you are opening the docks.
Then we're giving Vanguard a place to fall
But at the same
if they need to
time,
fall back.
the only way to combat the situation is to fight it head on. We've fought this before. We know what it takes to. We know the capabilities of this, and we lost handily last time. So we need to play this a lot smarter.
But what's his name needs one more volunteer.
Oh, Tiror is going with you guys.
No, you said somebody needs one more volunteer to go to the temple.
Tiror looked to the Wreckers, the Rakirs, his like officers essentially.
Yeah, we get to choose where we want to go.
Yeah, these are basically veteran sergeants, and he's the equivalent of like a high-ranking commissioned officer, like maybe captain or colonel. And he basically turned to them and was just like, "I need one more Rakir. You already have one Rakir who said he was going to go."
My character watched his home get destroyed. He will not let another person's home get destroyed. He's going to help people. So that is where Carrick is going.
Vanguard or the temple?
Temple. If you're going to the temple, then I think I should follow and you should go with the Vanguard. Because you got that silly armor now. You're something else at this point.
But that's like all in your face combat. Like all I have is my bow and like my arming sword.
You can stand back.
You notice Brant. That's all Brant has too. He said Vanguard.
Trying to think of what like that battlefield is gonna look like.
You have
be
your
in a
place.
city again.
I don't think we should split, personally. Just from a not only a character standpoint, but also a poor fucking Jared has to do 2 encounters at the same time standpoint. So
Don't worry about me. It's all good.
Yeah.
I'll just flip a coin and randomly decide if someone dies. Be like, all right, make a new character, Chris. You're dead.
Oh man.
yeah, so
You guys died pre in the temple. All right, cool.
All right, well I'm gonna
Makolo
be
and Dan. Let's go.
I'm gonna be a spellcaster now because we don't have any.
they've got a lot of firepower going to that Vanguard, and they need somewhere to come back to.
And if we get to the temple and it's okay, then we can make our way back to the Vanguard.
Yes. So, okay, decision.
Are you sure about that, big man?
Feel pretty good about it.
If you feel good about it, then I feel good about it.
You have my bow.
Okay,
I don't have an axe, but you have my hammer.
so I'm gonna tell Manon that we're going to aid with the temple.
Okay. All right, then we will go ahead and take a 5-minute break.
Time to practice those rolls, boys.
Yep. So who wants to pack?
Ooh, nat 20.
Because I need to set up.
And a 1.
All right.
I went from a 20 to a 1.
If I don't want to be really hot, just you take these tong boys along with that hot boy.
Unfortunately, I don't have a beer.
It's all good. You know, if somebody pops in, it's just like, why is this the most boring D&D session ever? We'll explain.
Put up a picture of the casting couch. Family guying yourself. John Wick TV spin-off series is going to be first. Called The Confidence.
Nice. I like it. They're gonna get his name.
I hope so. Like
He's a great actor.
He is the hotel.
Do you ever see fucking that show? Get it for me. Deadwood. That like
Still waiting for, well, of course, when the third movie. It's gonna be build on the lore of the world. Oh, and Keanu's attached to it too. You have some cameos. Spoilers. That means he survives the third, unless it's like a prequel.
we're in between. Second half. Basically. Dog was still. I'll take a look.
I think Chris is gonna die. Just FYI. Low numbers. talking about diets over there. Fuck diets. Just be fat. That's what I'm gonna do. I'll be happier. Because I'll get to eat whatever the fuck I want. So exciting. We're talking about food. Well, hot boys.
I eat a bunch of mini. So my first meal is like 2 eggs and 3 slices of the thick cut bacon, but I'll make 6 or 7 and put them back in the. I'll like take some pistachios and throw them on the strips of bacon because they'll be covered in grease. So the pistachios like soak into the greased up bacon and throw them in the fridge, and they kind of like almost like harden around the pistachios.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like my second meal of the day, is that with my second cup of coffee a couple hours later. And for lunch is usually like my veggie meal, and dinner's usually I'm just trying to rush it out because I get off work at 5. I gotta stop eating at 6. So I'm just like, let me eat like 6 ounces of steak real quick. But I'm also trying to like eat 1,600 calories a day, not 2,000 to 2,600.
Even though it sounds like a lot for what I eat in the morning, that actually only equates to like 400 calories. Like
Yeah.
that.
But my breakfast is like half that.
I usually average anywhere from 16 to 1,800, which is okay.
And
And
we're
I
back.
think we're
And we're back.
Thank you for dealing with our keto bullshit.
I was informing them.
In the
I was
break.
like, I'm talking about food over there.
Yep,
Fuck that. I'm just going to be fat.
We're
it's more
adults.
fun. I can eat whatever the fuck I want.
it's true.
It's fun, and then you struggle to get out of bed one day, and you're like, fuck.
Yep, I'm already there.
Nope. Because sweets get you out of bed.
I am
Whatever your heart desires, Chris.
I'm sufficiently excited to lose this weight. This extra person that I've been walking around with. so that way I can get back to being me again.
Like
New
the
year, new
emo-est
me.
thing you've ever said.
I'm pretty sad about being fat. It's pretty rough, man. Well,
Just embrace it.
yeah.
Fuck.
I mean, I like did before, and then like when I met you guys, that was like my hitting the gym every day phase. So I had like worked pretty hard at losing weight and managing to keep it off. So now to be where I'm at and to be this way for like a year is pretty shit-tastic. So, anyways,
So we have decided to go.
Split.
Nope.
Let's just see what his
To
face would do.
save to save the people. His eyes were already twitching when you're like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna be fat." He's already like,
yep, he's already super triggered.
"What? What do you want? Come here. Come get a pet." There you go.
Basically, I just want to make bad decisions and not feel bad about it. So that's why I want to diet.
just
Like
Turn
going to
that
the
off.
temple.
So to the temple, you guys are going. All right. So
It's a bad decision. I'm not going to feel bad about this.
everybody
Let's go.
lines up outside as the guy who kind of like limped along and has half his face missing. Tiror looks at him and says, "Assemble the men." Or looks at him and says, "Ian, assemble the men." And the Rakir says, "Aye, sir." And runs out and immediately starts shouting and yelling in the distance. And yeah, sounds like an angry bald man. As you guys are heading outside,
Just making sure you're there for the story beat.
Nicodemus volunteers to stay behind.
He doesn't have to give him
Like
shit.
in
course
general.
Hey guys, I'm just gonna stay here.
Is he sleeping again?
Huh?
Is he sleeping?
No.
He's gonna roll to try and take that demon dagger.
But he is voluntold by Manon very quickly that he has two paths ahead of him unless he wishes to hang from that same small branch on a small tree.
It's going to be a very encumbered branch.
Nicodemus weighs his odds and says, "Well, statistically, I might be able to snap it. But then you'd probably find some more painful way for me to go. So I will elect to go to the temple."
All right, dude.
My Nicodemus.
All right, and Bale, of course, is elected to go to the vanguard. But before everybody starts to walk out to inspect the men and give out orders, he turns to you and says, "I of course do not dream of taking it without permission, but mind if I utilized pride in this fight?"
So I'm thinking about how cool I want to make this.
Before he says anything, I take this one.
I'm gonna unclip it because I've got it kind of strapped to my back.
Yep.
I'm gonna unbelt it, hold it out, and lay it across my arm, and be like, "Time to take back your home."
He
And with one manly tear.
Yep. He does look pretty beholden. And,
And I'll say, "Would that I had the power to save mine. I can never deny you that."
he grabs a hold of the sword, but before taking it away from you, he says, "The hedge today will feel my vengeance, and your people will know it before today is over. We will slay them all." And when he takes the sword, he actually takes his arming sword that he has from his sheath and gives it to you. And he says, This blade has been handed down in my family for generations. This was my father's blade, and he gave it to me. I will relinquish it to you. Hope that one day when this war is over, and I am done using this blade, we can trade again. Now you have the ancestral sword of the Hellfen. It feels very well balanced, with an incredibly this looks inspired by dwarven arms. It has like a.
I'm sitting there looking at it.
It has it has like a very. It's very similar to the Viking swords that I've all shown you before. It's very historically accurate to that measure, but it is more. It has more like meat to it and weight, while still feeling incredibly balanced. That's just your initial observations of handing the sword. Of course, pride. If there was ever a sword that could be called perfect, you feel like that would be it. This is not perfect, but it is a very, for the layman, this is worth more than the whole kingdom. So, yeah.
Tell me about them bonuses.
Well, you'll have to let me know who's utilizing it and when and where, and I will let you know the bonuses.
Is that something that I can equip?
We will have to look at the PHB to find out.
I can use scimitars.
It is not a scimitar. It does count
But
specifically as a. It counts as a long sword in the D&D book, but it does not have the. You cannot wield it with two hands, like the long sword. And all arming swords are specifically one-handed.
Clubs, daggers, darts, javelins, maces, quarterstaffs, scimitars, sickles, slings, and spears.
Yep.
Does not necessarily say swords.
You would not be able to wield this effectively. You could wield it, but you would not get your proficiency bonus.
I'm going to strap it to my back.
Cool.
Is there anybody who can use it in our party? Oh yeah?
Him or I, we both can do.
Both of them can utilize
Yeah.
it.
I'm not sure how much of an extra bonus it would be for Warhammer, but I can utilize
What is your warhammer?
It's a 1d8.
Yep.
And I have the +1 attack bonus with it.
Okay.
That comes from it because it's a master-crafted weapon.
Well, as soon as you pick it up and wield it, if you were to in combat, you would find out. I have to jump off our stream. I'm at 10% body life. 10% body life. 10% battery life. Jesus fuck.
So I have to use it in combat in order to know?
Unless you can find someone who can tell you the bonuses of it. You do.
What are your bonuses?
You do. You do know somebody who can find out the bonuses of the weapon for you. But last time that happened, a demon was summoned.
Hey. Well, this isn't a cursed item, so.
When the time is right.
Have you been told that?
I've already died once.
When the time is right.
I'm sure if we're in dire shits, be like, take this.
I mean, you guys have seen.
It's actually worse.
You guys have seen him wield it. Yeah.
Yeah. He cut some dudes down. He's all right. All right, so let's roll. Now that we've had our manly tier moment.
You heart to heart. As you guys step out, you see that there's a bunch of people who are who've lined up several like walls of men and almost into different units. Help you out there before it gets burnt, because I would like to smoke that hot boy. So you see several units of men that have lined up. Some of them are wearing dark blue with or blue and like gray as a secondary color, and their uniform, and many of their shields seem to have the symbol of like an axe and a horn on it. And then the others appear to or have a sword and a horn like crossed like this. And then the Helfin themselves, their guys are dressed in like that crimson red, and their off color is actually like navy blue. So dark red and dark blue.
Noise.
And their symbol is like a shark's jawbone, like the shark's jaw. And inside of it is 2 axes that are like surrounded by flames. So, yep, they're the Hellfins.
Hellfin. Yep.
You can turn into a shark with the sword.
I can turn into a shark already.
Fuck you.
Roll 1d8.
All of us?
Or roll 1d20, sorry. Add your intelligence bonus. No, just him. He's a human. He might know.
17.
Yeah. Really ancient lore says that the Helfin, the sons of Helfin, they were actually created because the great sharks, the Carcharodons, well, one of the Norse gods came down and was just like, hey, girl, fuck the shit out of it. And Helfin was born.
Nice.
Right.
That's not super weird because, like,
It's just
Loki had a baby wolf, so,
It's
you know,
just
whatever.
fantasy,
Like,
like fairy tale
he
shit.
legit had the baby. He became the mom, even though he was a boy and had a wolf, so that's not weird. He also shit out, you know, the world in there. Jormungandr.
so
Norse mythology is weird, y'all.
it's not any more weird than anything else.
It's
Look at the
not any
Greeks.
weirder than, like, the blood of Christ compels you.
Not any weirder than I've got a fucking headache and my daughter is born out of my fucking cranium.
True.
So,
And you, the body of Christ.
Yep.
all right. So we
We're
ready
going.
To roll? Let's fucking roll. I'm ready to kill some shit.
Cool. You guys kind of like, you fall in. These Rakirs are like yelling at their soldiers and basically kind of electing like who the non-veteran sergeant's going to be. And they're breaking into like who's going where. As that occurs, you see another flag that is flying the Dragoon symbol. And 3 horses with riders run into camp. You see mounted 1 female and 2 men. The lady is in the lead. She is dressed in like lighter, more form-fitting copper scale armor, and she has a large bun of like blondish hair, like dirty blonde hair. But I mean, it's like a very large, like mane of hair. And she has like a bow and arrow over like one shoulder, or bow and ton of arrows over one shoulder, and then on her other, it like running this way is like a claymore.
Go on.
Yeah. you still passing, dude? Because
I do need to get some more arrows at some point.
I'm
so-
taking this exit.
She seems to be like very like naturistically inclined. She has like green and brown like camouflage body paint on.
Yep.
And like a cloak. Instead of like a fur rimmed cloak, it's actually like looks like it's made out of like foragings, like these great leaves. The other 2 people beside her, you see another dude. He is wearing what appears to be like very similar to the other lady who you guys walked out with, and her armor. Except his is fuck. I already forgot what her armor color was. Do you guys remember?
Purple.
I had it written down somewhere.
Hi, Skywalker.
No, you're not getting pets. You're getting your
Sorry, guys, I'm taking some
your
notes.
snoot
real quick.
booted.
All right. The other guy is dressed in like
Go on.
it looks more like a breastplate that seems to be kind of like lamellard together. Very similar in style to his armor that he's wearing, except his is just blue dragon scale. And the other person appears to be wearing like a much more in-depth suit of armor that is made of orange dragon scales.
Interesting.
Yep.
Power Rangers.
Go Power Dragoons.
All right.
And that dude has a gigantic axe. He's like riding with it in one hand, and he has his stirrups like this. And you see like on this arm, he actually has like this giant jutting, what appears to be like bone fragment sticking out of his arm. And this gauntlet appears to have like razor filings on it for that like end almost in claws. This hand is like free. Like his armor like is super armored here and ends here, and then it's free here, and then like here the armor picks back up. So, and he has like a much like more jutting shoulder piece with another bone fragment here, and then this one just is like overlapping with the rest of the armor.
Interesting.
Yep, he is. He's got like a large mustache. He's bald as well, has a large mustache that like goes down and is like braided entirely, and then has like just like mutton chops. About it. The other person has, in addition to like their blue armor, like a blue cloak hood that's up still. Can't really see their face, but he has no visible armaments that you can see. As they ride out, you see several of the other dragoons who are already down there kind of approach them and start talking before Manon walks up. And he looks at Keldon and says, "Get them in line." And Keld says, "Yes, sir." And Manon turns around and looks at you guys and says, "These are your detachments. Watch over them. They'll watch over you. Do not trust the Rakirs. Do not trust their leader. Trust yourselves. Put the people above them if you need to. Good luck. And if anything should happen, Valhalla awaits." And
That it does.
yep, you see Keld kind of sticks behind a little bit and then walks over to you guys and says, "I know we didn't have much opportunity to talk, but I wanted to embrace you as brothers once more before we go into battle." And he gives everybody man hugs.
What a nice gesture.
No slam.
No. Because you're making me sad. I don't have sad.
You don't have sad bones?
No sad bones.
No fear
Right.
boners?
No. Well,
Never see him again. Fear boner.
I'm just gonna say, fight hard, kill them all.
That is my plan.
Only good throw is a dead throw.
He looks over at like the new dragoons that have arrived that everybody seems to have like fallen in with, and he says, "We'll be all right. We have some of the best remaining dragoons."
Oh, see, blue guy's got to be a spellcaster. Which, like, to be a dragoon spellcaster, you got to be a bad motherfucker, I'd imagine.
Probably.
So,
He probably knows a thing or two or seven.
He's probably done some stuff and seen some shit.
yeah. I mean, who else can color coordinate like that? Come on.
I'll get him to get a demon out later.
Yeah. And Nicodemus kind of like runs over to you guys and he's like, hey, how's it going, guys? So I guess we're going to go liberate the temple together. Camaraderie. Huzzah.
Imagine this fucking glasses taped together motherfucker just like run over. Hey guys, what's up? He's out of breath from like 10 paces.
Pretty much.
All right, dude. Let's roll. You got any demon help hiding up your sleeve?
I got a few tricks. I got some stuff if shit gets dicey. You know, we'll burn those bridges when we come to them.
Well, let's make sure.
Hopefully not literally.
Let's hope that shit doesn't get dicey.
I mean, if we gotta. I mean, it's gonna get dicey. We're going into a war zone, and like with that, you like hear a bunch of like horns being blown. Yep. Everybody does a horn on 3. 1, 2, 3. Colo was like the retarded horn. The horn with Down
Nicodemus's
syndrome.
horn.
Yep, it's Nicodemus.
He's trying
He
to do
pulled
it.
out a kazoo. And
No, he's trying to do it with like that blade of grass trick.
Yeah. And instead he pig squeals. He goes, I found this out the other day.
He does it with the fucking demon dagger. It's got like a little hole in it. He blows. It's like the fucking dragon dagger from fucking Power Rangers.
But in pig squeals.
Isn't that cool? The thing just makes that noise.
There's nothing weird about this. What are you all looking at me like that?
This isn't even the weirdest I've ever heard before.
Why are you guys shocked?
Honestly, I'm shocked by nothing with you. Let's roll.
And as that occurs, the Vanguard kind of just starts moving up, like with their shields kind of in lines. As like the entrance to the city is the palisade that leads up to it flips up. And as soon as that happens, you guys see like a bunch of hedge knights with arrows just start raining down. And as it occurs, everybody kind of like picks up their shields and they like get hit with that initial like as arrows hit their shields, and then they drop them, and the next line like comes and drops their shields on top, and then the next line comes up and drops their shields on top. So you see like this shield wall of men form up, and then the men who are still like kind of on the palisade return fire, and then they wait for the next volley of arrows to hit, and you see just a ton of spears just fly over the fucking walls at the hedge knights. And they start their approach, and they kind of like slowly grind through them until they just break apart and immediately counterattack and just butcher the shit out of these dudes. And I mean, obviously you see more than your fair share of dragoons that are there fighting all of them. And Lothar unattaches his sword lance from his back and like holding it with both arms and says, we'll let them clear the way. After they've done their job, we'll do ours. Head straight for the temple. We'll have eyes on it as soon as we step through the gates. We just need to follow the roads. Are there any questions?
When can we? When they're done.
Yeah. After a few city blocks of them just kind of like clearing house and pushing, you see like a few people get like wounded and either like fall back or just consigned to die in the streets. Most of the men who appear to be wounded and walking back seem to be kind of like helping each other. The ones that are wounded and on the ground, they appear to like stop and talk to or converse with, and then kind of like continue on their way. So as you guys are walking forward, you're seeing like some soldiers fall back. after they get to a point where they kind of like have somewhat control over like 180 degrees around you, your men start to run forward as they like wave you up, and they move them towards them ahead of you guys, and they just start going towards up and around towards the keep that you see all the way up there in the distance. And now you guys and your men are making your way towards the temple.
Oh yeah.
So it doesn't take long. They are immediately forced to form a shield wall as the hedge knights pour in from the streets and clash into them. But you see several hedge knights try to like pour in from the sides and in between the alleys, and sneak up behind them, and that's basically where you guys are. Is right there, basically, kind of in charge of defending your shield walls while they push ahead, and clear the way. So it is no surprise to any of you when the DM says, "Roll initiative."
15.
12.
12.
What happens when we tie?
Fucking.
You can mount me in.
Can you like? Can we combine our attack? Like, I put divine smite on my hammer, and you shoot my hammer.
Fucking extra.
You both rolled 12s. Okay.
Combo.
Okay. So we have the forces of good moving first. For once, you see out off of the left side, Lothar catches motion and like throws his cape over his shoulder, like his cloak over his shoulder, and immediately like charges and just tries to catch a dude full on with his weapon. He will hit. And you basically see him like slash a dude and just like tear off almost all of his armor and go through a shield. Dude is still up. And next we move to Dan. Dan, you hear commotion all around you, and you see plenty of commotion behind you where the shield wall is. If you are looking for enemies, you will have to roll to try to find them. Otherwise, you can try to go look for them, be proactive and get ahead of the group. Or you can go fight the one that Lothar just engaged.
Yeah, I'll finish him off.
Sure. Just going to charge with what you have. The spear.
Spear of Thailand.
Yep.
That is a 22.
You will definitely hit.
Uh, 5 points.
Yep. Most assuredly, as he opens it up from shoulder to hip and cleaves away the shield, you jam your spear through its chest and immediately feel the lifeblood of the hedge knight hit the ground and splash out behind you against the wall of the alley that it came from, and it falls to its knees and dies. Next is the bad guys.
Excuse me?
As two knights kind of come out from the left side where you guys were, and three other of the armored hedge knights come out from, they're a little closer to you guys on the right side. In addition to that,
Perfect. As always.
yep. Let's
Apparently from League. League of Legends.
Interesting.
Interesting indeed.
Okay. And on both sides, you see a green-skinned, green-haired female with accompanying both sets come out into the fray as well. They appear to be aligned with, or at the very least supporting, the hedge knights that you are fighting. And they will... Dan, you know exactly what they are. They are dryads. Roll me knowledge nature.
7.
Okay. You know that they are fey creatures. Usually they are either unaligned entirely or neutral. And to learn any more, you will have to roll next round your initiative. Take up an action studying them if you will. That said, Dan, you immune to charm?
What's that?
Are you immune to charm? I think that's something typically elves have. I don't know if it's something that you have.
Salt.
Okay. In the meantime,
Mm-hmm.
on the other side,
How close is everyone to each other?
you are kind of on the right side. They're kind of on the 10, or they're about 15 feet away from you. But you've got some dudes bearing down on your position. 2 hedge knights move to engage both Dan and Lothar. The 3, you have 1 that engages you and 2 that engage you.
Okay.
So, Turkier, what is your AC?
16.
Okay, 1 will hit you. The other moves in and moves to swing with its sword and misses entirely as you definitely maneuver. The other one catches you on the other side with his blade. You will take 7 points of damage. Colo. I actually hit you. Surprising. And you will take 5 points of damage as one of them charges you and slams its sword into you. And while you feel your armor attempt to repulse them, somehow this creature was able to swing into you and actually pierce your bone breastplate. That said, after he takes the sword out to like try and swing again / wait for your riposte or whatever, you notice that the bone armor itself starts to regenerate.
Sick.
Pretty bad.
Dan, did you find out?
NPC guide for immunity to charm.
All right. She looks at you and starts to like whisper some type of spell. Roll a DC Wisdom saving throw.
That's an 18.
Okay. You're not sure what she's doing. You felt allured to her though. As she looked at you and started kind of walking towards you. This is the creature that you're looking at.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Neat.
Other side. Makolo, you see her look at you, and as she does, like, it looks almost like repulsed. and she turns to you. Make a C saving throw.
So glad I'm a human.
Or yeah.
So it's my roll plus my wisdom.
Roll plus your wisdom plus. Are you proficient in wisdom saving throw? If you look on saving throw, it should have a mark under what you're proficient in. You should be proficient in 2 saving throws.
Oh man, I rolled a 19.
Wisdom.
Actually.
Wisdom. Okay, so you have proficiency. So roll a d20. Add 2 for your proficiency and your wisdom bonus.
Oh, I'm not even. I'm
Plus
not
3.
even. Didn't even realize that was a fucking spot. Oof, 6.
Okay. As you see the dryad look at you, and she begins to whisper some sort of incantation, you feel like she's a friend, like a trusted ally to be protected. That she's here to actually protect you. Get that feeling. You don't feel as if that she's your enemy. Definitely know the people attacking you are your enemies.
Sure.
But you don't feel like she is any threat to you at all.
Okay.
Yeah, you feel like a bond is there between. All right. Next we go to Makolo. You're up, Apolock.
All right.
Yep, you've got one dude in your melee. Have you tried to make that determination before?
I think before when I did like sense, like
Yeah, we did at the first fight.
In the initial dungeon, you mean?
yeah, like divine sense.
Divine Sense told you that something was manic. Something was off, but they didn't ring undead.
Okay.
Something screamed like it was not correct. The order of things was out of line. But you didn't get a particular undead sense. You have had an undead sense before. You know that this is similar, but it is not the same inflection of the sense talking to you. You think it's something else altogether. That's what you determined.
Okay. Well, there goes that idea.
I think basically what you determined was that it was more of a possession
Right.
than it was a curse of undeath.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. I guess I'm gonna swing at him with my sword.
Sure. You immediately pull out your long sword, your arming sword, and go ahead and roll attack. Roll attack,
Nat 20.
All right, you crit. Go ahead and roll me percentile, baby.
That guy, right? Or does it matter?
It's your
Both-
D100.
That and the 10 one.
Yep, the D100.
One.
No, that's one. That's
Is that 100?
So if double zero is
00 is called double aught. Double aught means 100.
yeah. So 101.
Just 100 then.
Yeah.
If it's 00, it's 100. So did you roll 1 and double 0, or
Yeah.
did you roll double zeros everywhere?
One
Yeah,
and double
one
zero.
and double zero.
1 and double 0. Okay, so that is a 1. All right.
Major difference.
Yes. Yes, it is. All right. There are 99 differences.
99 degrees of difference.
Yep. All right. You are going to roll. Chris, if you could let him borrow a D8.
I rolled 2 of them.
Yes, sir. And add your strength bonus twice. Strength is
2.
so you'd
Plus
be
4.
adding 4 instead of 2. So what did you roll altogether plus 4?
16.
16. So this guy like gets up in your face, stabs you with his sword, and you immediately like you've got your bow in one hand, and you immediately like take up sword and like cut this entire part of his head right off of his skull, and then roll and resheath your sword. His body just goes bloop. All right. Moving on down the list, you are up, Chris.
And I got 2 guys on me.
You do indeed. We have the perfect soundtrack playing.
Right. I just gotta look. Gotta refresh my memory on some spells. Let's see. And then the other one I gotta look at is that one. Where are you? There you are. Okay. I am going to cast Shield of Faith on myself.
Sure.
So I have +2
Solid
to my
move.
AC
Absolutely.
for the duration of the combat.
Start to glow with a golden aura.
And then I'm going to attack the dude that hit me.
You got it.
That will be a
As if 1,000 dwarves cried out in
13.
13 to hit.
Yeah.
13 hits.
And then 1d8. Yeah, that's 15.
He crumples under the might of your MC Warhammer. As
That's
your You bonus to immediately-
your roll.
Oh,
bring it down.
Gonna add your.
oh, sorry, 12.
That's a
12. He still crumples as you take up your hammer and push it through his helmet, and his teeth and jawbone eject from his face.
Neat.
Yep. Moving on to the top of the round,
Lothar.
we have Lothar and his merry men. Lothar be like, all right, well, it's time to get serious. And he is close to you, Dan. So you see him, even though he's got a dude on him, kind of like steady his weapon. That is his whole initiative.
Oh boy. Feel like he's charging up for something.
He's using solar beam.
So far, it looks like your men are not going anywhere. Going down, you hear the man known as Ian keep continuing to like shout orders and like bolster forces and stuff. He seems to like let you guys take care of the stragglers that are coming around the corners and stuff. Occasionally, like as he's walking through, he'll like take his sword, put it through something on the other side of the shield wall, pull it back out, like wipe the blood off, continue walking and yelling and calling everybody pussies. Telling everybody that he eats pieces of shit like them for breakfast.
My kind of dude.
As that is occurring, we will go. Like I said, it looks like your men haven't made really any progress. They do not appear to be losing or winning. Dan, you are up.
How far am I from the dryad?
You are roughly. She's probably like 15 feet away. You have a dude on you though.
Okay.
And a dude who's another 5 feet away from you.
Got it.
If you try to move, they would both get to strike you.
Sure. I'm going to cast Flame Blade.
A sword of flame erupts from your hands as a standard action.
It's a bonus action.
Even better.
Yeah.
They really made these like weapon abilities super quick.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, just so everybody knows, I can throw my sword. It disappears, but I can bring the blade back at any time as a bonus action.
Also,
What the fuck is this game?
in case you were wondering, Nicodemus is reading.
I'm sure he is.
He's probably looking around like,
He's like, shut the fuck up.
I'm going to strike
What's up?
strike the guy that's on me with the flame blade.
Sounds good.
So melee spell attack. That is a 14.
You will definitely hit him.
Right.
As fire basically goes like right over the top of his shield.
Can I have your
And strikes
extra
his body.
d6s, please?
How many do you need?
I need 3 of them.
Holy shit. How much damage does this do?
On a hit, target takes 3d6 flame damage.
All right.
He will take a total of 10 damage.
10 damage. You got it.
You can
Does
hold
he
on to those if you need them.
does he catch fire?
Fire damage.
Just fire
indeed.
damage. Okay. But he does not catch fire.
No, it doesn't say they catch
Okay.
fire.
All right.
Specifically.
As he is burned by this blade sizzling into his skin, he looks pretty fucked up. Yeah, he looks like a sword made of fire just fucking went through his armor and shield. Started sizzling away his flesh and organs, and then as you pulled it out, cauterized the wound for him.
I don't know if you guys know, but I'm a Zorahai. So let's
Just stop.
So, Dan, that is your initiative.
Yep.
All right. Actually, you still have, since you just attacked, you still have a bone. I will give you a reaction. You would like to roll another nature check.
That is a 7.
Okay. You know the same that you did last round.
Got it.
You just, for whatever reason, are kind of drawing a blank when it comes to these leafy dryad people.
Right.
What are these leafy boys?
Yep. Who would win? Party of heroes or one leafy boy?
One leafy girl.
Moving on down the road, have the bad guys. Seem to turn their gaze. She turns her gaze away from you and looks at Lothar. And Lothar looks up and see like a brilliant aura around him, like flares up as he meets eye contact with her. And he says, "I will not suffer the witch to live this day." And
Start
there
one-lining when we fucking kill things, dude.
there appears to be some kind of like magical feedback almost as she like writhes in pain as she tried to like whisper whatever she was gonna at him. So whatever it was backfired. And you think it had more to do with him than it did with her. Dan, the dude on you is like, well, hang on, I'm just gonna sit here and breathe this round with my 2. And the other dude is like so perplexed by this like brilliant aura that he like drops his sword and like puts up his shield and like picks it back up off the floor. Like, on you guys, he goes to swing and like you just like take your shield and lift it up and he like over swings and it just like he brings his forearm down and it's like he loses his weapon as he like connects with your shield. The sword just like drops basically at your feet. Yeah. That was pretty rough. It was 1, 2, and 2 1s in one sitting. And then what is she? You see her like kind of go like this and summon this like glowing green shaft of wood, and she throws it at you, Makolo. And she will hit the fuck out of you. And you are struck by this like giant glowing beam of well, it's not giant, it's like this big. I think you may have seen him cast this spell before, but it didn't quite look like this. It's called Shillelagh, is what he called it. But you're not sure what this is. But she took it, she like made it, and she threw it. And when it hit you, you would not have expected it to do this much impact, but you're taking 12 points of damage from this as it smashes into you. Yeah, and make an intelligence check real quick.
9.
Okay. It hurt.
Damn, these sticks hurt.
Makolo, it is your initiative.
Do I have anybody on me?
Nope.
Okay, I don't have anybody on me. What enemies are like around?
You see a dryad over there. Lothar. Boy Carrick. There's some dudes right there. You have one hedge knight here, fighting him. He just dropped his sword, and then one dryad who just hit you with a glowing stick.
She within shooting distance?
Oh yeah, yeah. She's like
I wanna
20 feet
fucking
away.
shoot at her.
Sure. You will unleash an arrow that you've notched, and it will fly right over her.
22.
Mr. Tank over here taking all the fucking damage.
Then we will move to Turkir.
Hi.
Hello.
So I just got the one dude on me. What else is around? Obviously, I'm going to fight this guy.
You have this dude who's on you, then you have the dryad who's like 15 feet away.
Yeah, but she's charming me.
Yeah, you feel like a little kindred spirit there. On the other side is another dryad. You don't feel as like the bond is developed.
I don't feel as close with this one.
No. I feel like you could marry that one and have a couple kids. The other
Okay.
one, not so much. The other one's all right. She's like her drunk sister, basically.
All right, well,
And then there's two dudes over there.
gotcha.
I'm sorry, did I miss something? We got 2 dryads.
There are two dryads.
Yes.
One on each side.
There are 2 dryads. One dryad is by themselves. One has 2 knights with them.
They're kind of both by themselves. They're separated. Like they're like range support, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, is how it works out.
All right, well, I am going to cast Sacred Weapon,
Okay.
which adds charisma to my attack rolls
Sure.
just to guarantee hits better. And I'm going to attack
long does that last?
for 1 minute.
Okay.
So for this attack, essentially.
Well, if it's for a minute, then it's probably for this entire combat round.
Okay. So yeah, and I'm going to attack the dude that's right in fucking front of me, who just dropped his shit. Nat 20.
As it turns out, you hit. Sans charisma bonus. Go ahead and roll me some
31.
some percentiles.
That's matching ones. 46.
What is your weapon damage? Is it a D8?
Yep.
Okay. Roll me 2d8 and add your strength times 2.
That would be 14.
Alrighty. He crumples as you smash into his chest with his warhammer. And he falls to the ground and he tries to move, but his body is... The spirit is willing, the body is not. That flesh gives out a few moments later.
All right.
Moving up.
Can I move?
I believe we established this in the first game. I think the order of actions is that they say to move before you attack.
Okay. I didn't know
Attack
if you
to
can
stand still.
like...
You can still perform another standard action if you would like.
Nope. I've got nothing else I can
Okay.
contribute right now.
I will double check on that.
I can do that while you're describing stuff.
Sure. Lothar will continue is doing, which is he appears to be kind of holding up and defending himself.
You can move after you act.
Okay, so you can move. You have a 30-foot move space. If you
Okay. He's got no one around him, so I want to move to him.
move to him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yep. You move up to him.
Now you have my protection.
There you go.
Literally, like if anything attacks you, they
They have
roll it. They
disadvantage.
have disadvantage.
Considering I started at 46 and I'm at 29.
Plus, now I can like potentially heal you. Thanks.
Yep.
I can make good berries.
You got to mitigate.
You can't make good berries. You're welcome.
You got to mitigate. Where are your cooldowns?
That's right. From there, let's see. You see where Nicodemus is at, and he's like kind of like walking the line of the shield wall with his books. You see like the shield wall gives for a moment, like a bunch of like hedge knights pour through. Like they start kind of like cutting them down from the back, which is a common tactic to like let the wall breathe, cut them off and assault.
Mm-hmm.
As that occurs, like Nicodemus is just like right in the fucking thick of it. He's like, whoa, 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 whoa. And you see like instinctively like his book like just drops to the ground. And as soon as it like hits the ground, there's like a magical gust of wind around him. Like the sleeves of his robe that he had on are like roll all the way up to his shoulders. Like chainmail kind of go over his shoulders. And it opens up kind of around like his legs. He like kind of like grieves with his boots and everything, and the hanging of chainmail from his hauberk. And as he does that, he like goes like this, and you see this purple orb summon in his hand, and then it like moves and consumes his hand, and like there's like this blade that forms energy. It looks kind of like a zealot's blade from StarCraft. He just fucking like cuts down 3 people who like come out of the wall.
Remember you wanted to fight this dude?
I got
He may be a goof, but he ain't goofing now.
Yep. He still has people around him and he's uncomfortable, so he's gonna burn an action point. So after he like cuts down a bunch of dudes, there isn't like people necessarily around him, so he just goes like this, and the energy like dissipates and like goes in a wave and like knocks the rest of the dudes down, and all the guards are like, cool. Start like fucking cutting them down. You think that your guys are clearly in control of the fight.
Okay.
You get that feeling. And that isn't to say that the hedge knights are fucking it up. Like there is a real fight on their hand. They're not just like bumbling around. That your guys are actually doing their best. She is going to do the same thing that she did last time. This time when she throws it, you kind of like move out of the way. Yeah, you're like, fuck, I don't want to get hit by that thing again.
Well, you're welcome.
Fucking looks like my grandma throwing the chancleta at me.
You don't think that it was a bad throw either. Think that you were able to like definitely avoid it. And that
Again, you're welcome.
Yeah. No. She rolled 2 14s. You know, as it turns out, like getting a 19 to hit is still not a 20.
Go to the guy with the highest AC, like, I'll defend you.
Yeah.
Hello.
I mean, he got hit twice, so clearly something's
Yeah.
fucking up.
Yeah, you are under the impression that very much. Kind of it's conflicting within you.
Me and Lothar got something for her ass. Here. It's like, I'm sure.
Like you feel like you probably shouldn't defend him from her attacks because maybe they're justified. Maybe a little. Like he's kind of a dick. I mean, if anybody else tried to attack him, you'd kill them. But maybe this one time you should like
Just let it happen.
let this happen. Let it all sort themselves out.
Just because I got one demon to get summoned.
Uh,
And I helped.
So did he.
I'm sorry, I'm logging into Warcraft right now.
what was your AC, Dan?
Not high enough, Jared. 13.
13. You are struck. As you are struck, you get hit for 7 points of damage as this guy comes down with a sword and hits you. And as that occurs, you see Lothar like post for the attack.
Fitting.
And immediately like what happens is he opens himself up and strikes you like right on the shoulder. As that happens, like you see Lothar's giant weapon just like die in the neck and like separate like his whole everything from each other, and he just that's basically what happens.
Nice.
It's like, and when you're watching Gundam and like there's that one Gundam pilot who's like, or that one Mobile Suit pilot who's like, it's a Gundam, and then he gets squished in the cockpit.
Are we under attack?
Yep. Yeah.
My favorite fucking.
Just that organ crushing sound in the cockpit. That's it. All right.
Sounded like a transformer there.
And then one of them is going to attack him and hit as he kills the other guy. The one that was on him strikes him with a sword that he finally found off the ground. And you see Lothar get hit across the back plate, like on his unprotected shoulder as he gets stabbed in the back by this other guy. And you see the other dryad form another shillelagh and throw it. And as Lothar like kind of just like straightens up from getting attacked and stabbed in the back, he like raises his blade in the way and it like strikes the shillelagh and it flies off. Yep, shillelaghs everywhere.
Fucking shabooties.
Shaboobies. All right, Makola, you are up.
I'm going to try and shoot that bitch again.
Yeah. Do it.
Fucker.
Don't
Hopefully.
roll a 2.
Wasn't it 2? It was like, what, 7? I don't
Well,
remember.
you got to add your bonuses because you are +7 to hit.
Yeah, so that should have been a 14.
If you
didn't
roll a
add.
7, you roll a 14.
Oh,
Which
no, yeah,
totally
no. I
matters.
rolled.
Okay.
Fucking, it was garbage. Is it 7? Thought it was +8.
Oh, yeah, because
you have a +8.
You're,
Jesus.
Yeah.
no, then it would be a +9 because your dexterity went up.
Yeah. So now it's a +9.
So now it's +9. So yeah, you can't roll a...
It's a 2.
All right, so +8, 8 + 2, or 9 + 2 is 11. You still hit. As it turns out, you can't miss unless you roll a natural 1.
I
So,
was almost there.
so hold on. What that means is in the future, do your arithmetic. Because you probably hit with the other 2 or with your last shot.
He definitely did.
Okay. All right, so there you go. What does your bow does a D8?
D8 + 2.
All right, so roll it. You don't get the extra D8 because she is not damaged, so you are not
4.
you're not colossal slaying. You rolled a 2. Okay, so she takes 4 damage as you strike her with the arrow. She kind of like makes a pained expression on her face, and that's it. Now you can use colossal slaying on her because now she's wounded. All right, Turkir, you are up.
Hi.
You know you're not really doing a whole lot here in this fight between these two.
No.
Yeah, just so you know.
Just so I'm aware.
Yeah. Like if she's directing an attack towards him, you consider her your ally. So you're not like defending him actively against her.
Right. So there's 2 other knights?
There is, indeed. Well, no, there's one now.
Okay.
One just stabbed your buddy Lothar in the back.
How far is the other dryad from me?
Like 45 feet. They're
Okay.
30 feet that way. You could
So-
charge the one dude. You wouldn't really be able to get to the other dryad anyways because there's bodies.
Right.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm gonna charge the other
Sure.
dude.
Don't forget to add +2 to your charge roll.
Yep. So that would be
So now it's charisma plus strength
Dude.
+2 plus
Yeah, it
proficiency,
hits.
which is
It
2.
hits.
Okay. Say just roll and then like decide if it hits basically. Like if you roll a 2 or a 3, maybe it didn't
Gotta
hit.
do a
But if
little
you roll a
math.
4 or 5, you probably hit.
Even if you rolled a 2.
yeah.
And I imagine your bonus is pretty outstanding right now.
Yeah.
It's plus 13.
+13
To hit, yeah.
That's pretty solid. All right.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah,
I'm here.
so now
I'm
all
here
you
to
have to
play.
do is not roll 1. Yeah. All right, so you charge and go ahead and roll your damage. Add +2 for charging as well.
That is shit. Why am I bad at math? That is 13.
Cool. You run over and like truck him with your shield, and as he like falls to the ground, you squish his entire head with your warhammer. And that is that. Brain matter goes everywhere into the streets. And we go
Clean up on I-4.
to the top. There you go.
To the top. Baby. Are we getting our one-liners in?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
There's some momentary pushback from the forces of the hedge that are battling up ahead, but ultimately it gives way. They seem to be kind of like stalemating right now. And Lothar will charge this lady, the Dryad. And he will definitely charge her. For sure. You see that aura flicker back on that he had before that like looked like silver flakes of dust were around him. You see that reignite as he like gets within a few feet of her. And she did. He like basically like charges over, sticks it through her guts, lifts it up, and then like smashes her on the ground like Soul Calibur style.
It's that nightmare
Yeah,
finisher.
his nightmare. Dude.
Yeah. I mean that's basically the weapon he has.
Yeah. He's basically
This is dead.
Getting there.
Yeah, it needs new coals.
Cool.
I'll go light some.
Designated coal lighter. Yeah, these are little baby ass coals.
All right, so what's our combat situation now?
After he takes down that dryad, it will go to Nicodemus, who's going to pick back up his book and read. And then it is you. Currently, there is no one on you. There is another dryad like 45 feet down.
I assume that's the one that's fucking shillelaghing me.
Yes. You see your buddy like Turkey kind of like look at you and look at her, and then he runs over there and like takes out a fucking dude.
I'll be a part of this infighting.
Cast Moonbeam.
Yeah. It just does static damage because you are going to succeed. So what's the damage? Or what do you perform your roll?
She has to save.
Oh, there is a save. Okay. I thought it was just you put it on her and then she just takes damage. She rolled in that one, so she's gonna take some damage.
So
what type of damage?
it's 2d10 radiant
Okay.
on a fail. Do you want to, or are we doing anything else since he crit fail?
No,
Okay.
she just
I have
automatically
a
fails.
D10, please. A 10. That's 11.
All right, she takes 11 points of damage, and she looks more worse for wear than she did before. Then it is their ups. You see her like cast another spell. The rest of her skin like starts to like harden up.
Oh, if she
and
starts
turn
her
a different
turn there,
color.
she gets hurt again.
Yeah, that's fine. It's
Okay.
it's just a D10, right? Or is it 2D10?
She has to make another con save.
Okay. This time she succeeds.
Okay. 1d10.
Okay.
7.
Okay, she takes 7 points damage. Yeah, so you see her cast another spell, and then she leaves that and basically runs away. So she darts between the different houses. You see as she's like runs, you guys see her kind of like start reflecting with the different like surroundings, the dirt, the rocks on the road, the houses that are here, both stone and wood, like the fire, the smoke. Like it's almost like she blends in with it almost as she takes the fuck off. Makolo, is there anything you would like to do before it gets to your initiative? Or sorry, it is your initiative. Is there anything you would like to do at this moment?
He's on me.
No.
She's the one that just
She
booked it.
she's running. Yeah. She's spending her initiative to get away.
Is there an attack of opportunity there?
Not unless you're engaged in melee.
Oh. Not questioning, just learning.
Mm-hmm.
Are you not in range? Or is she's bolted?
You can barely make her out. You can shoot, but you know it'll probably be to some penalty.
Yeah, I won't waste it if that's the case.
Yeah, you like line the shot up and then drop it. Like I'm not gonna waste my arrows. Yep. Turkier, is there anything you would like to do on your initiative?
So she ran, and the only thing left is just the wall, basically.
Yep.
Can I go assist with the wall?
Yeah,
pushing?
absolutely.
That's what I'll go do then.
You like move up to where the other dude is, the Rakir known as Ian, and you like start getting in little pop shots at the hedge members, and they start like kind of letting people through. They're there. You guys just kind of wholesale slaughter them. So go into the next round as well, since you're basically assisting them. So as you guys essentially wrap up these like ambushers, you see that like they're just starting to make short work. There's plenty of dead of yours in the street, but I mean that's the attrition of the wall. For the most part, your force is largely intact, and see the wounded are now kind of staying back, doing the same job that Chris. They're kind of just trying to do everything they can to kill the people who make it through, or sacrificing themselves to keep the wall going.
Yeah.
So, and you know the people who are like bleeding out are consigned. They're left. Doesn't take too much longer for the forces of the hedge to break, as you guys are now assisting with the wall. And as you clear the forces and work your way through the streets, you are greeted by the presence of this large temple. You see none of the flags of the the forces are supposed to be here. The way like it's built, it's like a second story, like a 2-story building, and then like the roof probably has an attic as well. You see a bunch of like black cloaked people with bows or spears, kind of like standing on the second row. And at the footsteps of the temple is a few of them as well. And they've basically, it looks like they just got done, like they're just got done slaughtering a ton of their own hedge knights here as well. So you're greeted by the first two people. I mean, it's basically like Ian is essentially leading soldiers for the most part, unless either of you guys do anything. You see as you guys approach the temple, Tiror takes a majority of your men and heads to the dock, which leaves kind of Ian as the only Fakir that's here with a few. Let's see, you guys had the 20 freeholders and 10 Dringier, your actual forces. So you guys have like 10 freeholders essentially, which are like the lesser of the guys. And Tiror and his like personal cadre took off. So Tiror and his personal cadre plus like 20 dudes like, walked off. You guys are like pretty bare bones at this point. So it is kind of a sigh of relief to see that the temple's being held by allied forces.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like there's like 4 dudes up there and like 3 people down here. And one of them like takes his hood down as you guys approach. Appears to be like wearing like a very thick reinforced gambeson with like bits of chain on it, studs. And he has like long white hair with black streaks in it. Looks like his hair is like unnaturally aged. He looks like he's in his 20s. But yeah, so white hair. And the other person, and he has like a sword in hand, like a mace. And the other person who's with him she takes down her hood. She has very dark hair, almost black, with porcelain skin, and she is wielding a scimitar. The other dude has like a sword and board. Looks at you guys and wondering if the city would decide to come to the people's aid. Hail and well met.
Hail and well met, my dude. So, yeah, we're happy to be here. We're here with the Dragoons and the rest of the city forces to help you guys out.
Good. I am glad someone came to the aid of these people. Nicodemus kind of like looks up and looks at them. See, he like starts flipping through his books. Lothar like moves to shake his hand. Says, "A friend, an ally of the people, is an ally of us. I am Sir Lothar. These are my companions." And he starts to introduce you all. You know, Aplock, Dirkir, carrot cake, that stuff.
I just embrace it.
Yeah.
I don't have a name. I'm a fucking giant Ken. No use for a name.
And you know, Ian looks like a little less than impressed with this guy. And he says, "What happened to the soldiers that were here?" Bonds. They've either died or fled. The only persons that are inside are actual civilians.
Oh yeah, there's Coles.
Yes. We were caught in the crossfire and decided to provide our services to the people of this town. We're here to ease their burden. I am Uriel. These men and women are the Bleak Company.
Why are you guys called the Bleak Company?
That's the name of our charter.
Okay. Ask a dumbass question.
5-year-old
Get a
man.
Get a
'Cause
dumbass
that's why we
answer.
decided to name ourselves. We thought it was cool.
You know this fits with my character.
Yep, that totally does. That's
Like,
why I love it so
what?
much.
Why? What?
You're like, why can't you guys just be friends? I don't.
You're human.
Why are you the Bleak Company? Why can't you just be human 1 and human 2 and human 3 and human 4, human 5, and you get to like human 11 and you're like, oh, a lot of you. I know, I get it.
That's why you have these things.
Yeah.
That's why you say
Now it
silly
makes
things.
sense. Yeah, it's
Hey, Chris, we just ran into the Bleak Company. What do we want to do?
have you been listening? Okay. So this guy introduced himself as Uriel, and that the men and women under his command are known as the Bleak Company. They were caught in the crossfire in the city initially, and fell back to here to protect the civilians as the guards either died and or eventually attempted to retreat and leave the civilians high and dry. They were glad you showed up when you did to relieve them. They weren't sure how much longer they were going to be able to hold out. They had lost members here as well.
Okay.
See a couple dudes with like black cloaks on the floor dead. And the lady with black hair and porcelain skin, she sheathes her scimitar and starts walking over, and they appear to be taking the brooches off of the cloaks. And then he was just like, why are you called the Bleak Company? And he was just like, because that's the name of our charter.
Asking the hard-hitting questions.
Yep. He's like James Franco from the Interview.
Why
It's like I expect you to have like an interview with Kim Jong-un and be like, why are your eyes squinty?
You're all the same, but different, but still the same.
Yeah.
Pretty much my view on everything.
Yep.
So what's Lothar up to?
So,
Lothar said, glad we could assist. He shook the dude's hand. He's the one who introduced you.
Oh,
all.
right. Yeah. Duh.
He was like the first, like as you were like talked to him, Lothar was like kind of watching them leave and then turned around to kind of support you guys. And he just walked straight up and was like, well, good on you. Thanks for everything. That's cool. And he was like, is there any aid that we can offer to the people inside? And Uriel says, we've done what we can to ease their burdens of life. But feel free to provide what else you can. They are in need of medical supplies, food, and water. I'm not sure if any of you brought any of that.
Well, I can definitely help.
Excellent. There's much to be had.
I got heels.
All right. So I'll ask Uriel, who needs the most help right now.
He says, my men and I can look after ourselves. If you would like to help the civilians, I will show you around. And he looks over at the lady, and he says, hold the line.
On the line.
And he leads you guys inside the temple. So, and it's like very
Love isn't always on time.
It opens as you enter the entrance. The entrance actually gives way to like this open courtyard, where there's some people kind of like camped out. But he like leads you guys to the actual doors up ahead and opens them up, and there's like tons of people here. There's like people who have like their whole life packed up and in here, and some people have like started making like makeshift trading posts stuff. There's like tons of like, as Uriel opens the doors, it seems really quiet. And then as he starts to like walk around and people are like looking at you guys, it starts to like people resume talking. And like a bunch of people like pop up, and like a dude like takes off his Phrygian, and he's just like, "Thank you so much, Lord Uriel. Thank you for saving us." And he's just like, I'm not a lord. Don't. Fine. And like a bunch of people do that too. They're like, and they do that to you guys as well. Like they look at you guys as if you're associated. So, you like a lot of people like look at him with like reverence as you guys open, as he like leads you guys through, and he's just like, "This is where we've been base camped. I can lead you to the second story where we have archers that are on Overwatch." Makolo, you gonna do a shameless plug? And this is what we've been holding. I am a little surprised that this is all the force they could muster. Did you guys take heavy losses on the way in?
We did definitely take some. We lost some good men.
Should we consider falling back from this point if this is all the men that you have?
Well, no, there are others.
My friend, this is the fallback point. The rest of our forces are in the vanguard, marching on the keep.
I am not so sure they will be as successful as you were. Vanguard is going to face a lot of trouble.
Is Lothar with us?
Yeah, Lothar's walking alongside you.
I'm going to turn to him and ask, what's our move, Sir Lothar? Do we hold here, or should we go to support Mainen?
I have no doubt Manning can look after himself. I also have no doubt that they're fighting a losing battle. I will certainly elect to stay here with Ian and his men, hold this location. If you guys seek to go out there, my only recommendation is that you stay together and you avoid any major party that you guys find. You are bound to uncover forces of the hedge here that are just as big as the force we encountered. The only reason that we didn't find more is because Mainen is louder and a ruckus on purpose. If you guys get picked up by a patrol, vastly outnumbered. At which point you would be more than a hindrance to the cause than help.
Is there any way that we can get these people out of the city?
Absolutely. Wish to try and escort them back. If you wanted to move the ones that are either need to be moved out immediately, that would probably be the most beneficial, especially if this becomes a military fallback point.
Be what, moving them to the docks?
Well, if you fall back to the docks, there's nowhere to go. Problem.
No, I meant moving the civilians.
That's the problem with the docks. Is there's nowhere to go if you fall back from the docks.
We'd have to bring it back to where we.
Yeah, which isn't terribly far. It's just far if you plan on like fighting honor dudes the whole way there, which you guys already figured that out. So I would definitely let them go, but they would be ripe for ambush by the same smaller parties that we fought on the way here that tried to jump our forces behind. If you guys wish to try and escort them, I know I can hold here with Ian's men. No problem. But you would be severely undermanned. I don't feel comfortable with you guys going alone. I would have to go with you. Uriel interjects and says that he knows these streets well. He can take 2 of his men with you guys. Be assured that the Dragoon has more work he can do here in order to turn this into a defensible fortress it must become. So Uriel is offering his assistance to fight.
Why don't don't you guys start to organize people, and I'll tend to some wounded while you guys are doing that.
Very well. Uriel moves over, starts talking to like a couple of like the normal looking commoner dudes, and they start immediately like moving and getting together people. See a lot of like women and children. There's like a few volunteer dudes who look like freedmen who like pick up like spear and shield that they happen to have, and like offer to also assist. But Uriel assists like and like insists that they stay here and help out soldiers and protecting the rest, like the larger, and that they'll move faster the less soldiers that. So it doesn't take long. There's like 15 minutes later passes. You see what it looks like is the remainder of Uriel's force that's going to stay behind is like overlooking the balcony of the temple. The main entrance, all of the normal soldiers are there, along with like the people that they can conscript to hold in a shield wall. So the dudes that they conscripted are just like wearing tunics, and then they have a shield, whatever armament they could find. Let it be probably not even sea axe. Sea axe would be too expensive. It's like a spear.
Okay.
The group that you guys will be assisting out is like 30 women and children, for the most part. So, as if we can make room, if we can get these people cleared out, then we can make a lot more room. We don't have to worry about bedding down children. So I can clear out a whole wing barracks. So.
Right. You ready?
Let's fucking go, boys.
Yep. Uriel leads you kind of down the same road that you went, and then starts kind of cutting into alleys. See the lady with the porcelain skin is at the back. Yep. She's in the flank. I don't know if any of you are also volunteering to be in the flank. Uriel is in the lead.
He's like, I'm gonna be with my
Yep.
girl. Every time a lady's involved.
That's right. Uriel
He
is.
said porcelain.
Yeah.
You described Yennefer, and I was like, is that Yen?
Porcelain. Are you like John Mayring right now? Are you like
No.
playing your body as a Wonderland?
My body.
Come on, you know what song's playing in my head?
Disrespect your surroundings.
Song of our people.
I make love to you.
I don't
in
know what's
Spanish.
happening right now.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh my god.
The original Despacito.
Yeah. Anyway,
So yeah.
enough of that.
Hispanic Aragorn is.
So,
So we're going.
yep. The other person with a black cloak is in the middle. Got like a large crossbow, like slung over his shoulder.
I won't
And has an axe by his side. Uriel has his weapons drawn. It takes about 10 minutes of darting in between alleyways. Once you kind of like come out of it, he looks back at you guys and basically says, "We're going into the streets where pretty much anybody who wants to see us, who can see us, will see us. Can't hide us anymore here. So I've done everything I can, but this is the danger of the trek." So basically, the circle is the refugees. Uriel is up front. TBS and Porcelain Bitch are in the rear. Uriel's bro goes to one side. What are you guys doing? Okay. Dan, you go the other side. Where do you go, Chris?
I'm at the front with Uriel.
You got it. Okay.
Dan, you're fucked.
As you guys continue to walk, directly ahead of you, a bunch of hedge knights just erupt out from the alleyways and charge you guys.
How many of them?
You see 5 initially. Make me perception checks, everybody except for Makolo.
God damn it. It's an 8.
10.
Yeah. See 5 dudes. They're running at you. And now we will roll initiative.
Do I have to roll as well?
Yeah.
All right.
What the fuck?
Nice.
Come on, man. It's those paladin dice.
What'd you guys get?
2.
20.
10.
Nice.
Nice. That's what we call a standard distribution.
The bell curve.
So Chris is on 20. What did you say you got, Makolo?
10.
10. You have a +5 bonus. You know that, right?
So then 15.
Okay. That matters.
Dude, are you like writing down your bonuses? Because this armor gave you like 7,000 bonus points. You have like 1,999 party points. Okay, you're partying like it's 1999. Fucking armor.
What did that give my bonus to for that? For
Your dexterity gives you a bonus to your initiative. So when you roll initiative, you're rolling a d20 plus your dexterity bonus plus any other applicable bonuses you
so
have.
that was a 4 and that was a 5.
Now it's a 5 because your dexterity went up. All right. Dan, you said you are on a 2?
Yes, sir.
All right.
It's
So
okay, buddy.
I'm just take a nap until everybody's done like their combat round.
all right. Chris, you are up first.
Cool.
These guys are roughly within charge range.
Okay. And
That's
how
what
are
we'll
they
call.
distributed? Are they all bunched up? Or are they all kind of separate?
In a line. They've got like 5 feet between them.
Okay. Oof.
Or I'm sorry, they're coming at you like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not like this. They're like this.
Yeah, they're not in a line.
They are, but
They're like a line
They're not
of Coke.
spread out either.
Horizontal line.
They're in a horizontal line. They're taking up the whole street. Make sure nobody can get past.
Only.
Hold the line. Kakarot here.
Like a carrot cake. Charging my attack. Boy. I'm gonna get you for late Three Kings Day. I'm gonna get it for you for Valentine's. Spell cards.
spell cards. I do not feel comfortable charging in, so I'm just going to stay put and hold.
Doke. Then we will go to Makolo. Makolo, you kind of
I'm in the back, so like
yeah, you can't really see a bunch of them. You could take like a arching shot if you want. It'd just be take it basically a hit to your ear to hit if you wanted to do that.
Your to hit is like
It is that.
Nah, I'm gonna wait.
Okay. Makolo, make a perception check.
So 19.
You see some movement in the shadows around you guys. You didn't quite catch what it was, but you think you are not alone. Moving on down to the good guys. Uriel wastes no time and immediately charges the people in front of him. He runs up and like one of them like reaches out with his sword to like try to cut him down, and he deflects and then just brings his like flanged mace up and just crushes his skull, and then immediately like turns his blade and sticks it in another guy. And he takes one of the hedge knights down, and another he wounds. See the person on the side kind of like looks up, levels his heavy crossbow, and pulls the trigger. Goes twang. And the hedge knight get struck with a bolt in the shoulder, but he seems somewhat combat effective still. Fight. The lady in the porcelain skin. She looks at you, and her eyes like turn black, and then like move back to normal. And she looks at you and says, "We are not alone. We are going to be ambushed very shortly." Moving on down. You see all of them try to attack Uriel. Most of them, he immediately like either kicks them away, deflects the incoming blow. Though somebody is able to stab him, and looks like he kind of gets struck with a spear in the side of his gambeson before he like kind of like whips the spear away. You are not surprised. Dan, you are. And so is Duder McDuderson on the other side. I pulled the trigger. Yeah, he's hit. You see a what appears to be a pick, like a fucking like an ice pick, fly across an alleyway and slam into like the shoulder chest area of the dude who like just fired his crossbow.
Uriel, bro.
Uriel, bro. Dan. The same thing happens to you. You will take 8 points of damage as a giant ice pick just flies out from the alleyway and like hits you in the fucking face, basically. Doesn't like pierce you or anything. It like it's a blunt object that smashes you in the fucking face. So it's like getting kicked by a horse. You do not feel too great. You like look over and there's like a little gray dude, and he's like, and that's it. Makolo, you like look over and you see the gray dude as he like throws the pick at you. You like put out your hand and like move both of you out of the way. And then we stand on two. The little gray dude who is just like, why aren't you dead?
How far away is he?
20 feet. Well, probably 15. Like in a little alley, alcove. He looks like a short, bald, impish creature, like grayish, purplish skin,
I'm gonna use
red beady eyes, big floppy ears.
a gerblin.
It's not a gerblin.
Not a gerblin.
Roll a d20. Knowledge nature. Okay. It is a small folk. You do not know what small folk it is. But that is a small folk. That is not goblinoid.
Thorn whip.
Sure.
Nat 20.
Okay, hits.
1d. Since it's a crit, are we doing crit stuff? Or are
It
we
is
only
a
doing it for
it is to hit on a spell, not a weapon.
4 points of damage. I'm gonna pull him 10 feet.
Okay. You wrap him with the vine. He's like, ah, fuck, and then it starts pulling him. He's like, ah, fuck, and he's like trying to like hop away on one foot. Whatever he is foul mouthed as fuck. It does not take anybody to understand his language to realize that he is shouting pejoratives. We go back up. Chris,
Hi.
you saw like some picks fly around and like small mining picks or large ice picks, and then you see that like one dude you were with just like run up and start braining people.
Yep. Well, now that I found the courage, I want to charge into that foray.
Sure thing.
So yeah.
Cool. Which are you charging any of the injured ones?
Yes. Just doesn't matter what.
Sure.
So that's 14.
Howdy. You will definitely go ahead and roll damage, as you definitely will hit.
That will be 7.
7 points damage. So the one that he like struck with his sword, you like run in as he's like trying to swing again on Uriel, and you'll like hit him in the guts with your shield and flip him over, and then just like bring your shield down on his face, and it's lights out.
Nice.
Yep. Next, that will bring us to Makolo. See the little gray dude who is now biting his nails.
How far away is he from me? I'm gonna go and shoot him.
He's his pants a little.
So 10.
Like with all your bonuses?
Yes.
So you rolled a 1?
Yes.
Okay. Then yeah, you miss. As it like flies over. And he looks slightly less scared.
Damn it.
After that.
Been doing this.
So Uriel is going to slice in half the one guy who has a bolt in his shoulder, and then immediately like smash into another guy's armor and shield with his mace, popping and sending a bunch of like riveted rings everywhere. But that guy is still up and is still fighting. The lady pulls her scimitar. And I have the wrong book for that, so here we go. We'll just do this instead.
What do you need?
No, I'm good. I got it. What is the DC on Moonbeam? I know it's con, but what was the specific number? Do you recall? Warm it up.
Doesn't say. Yeah, it
Okay,
doesn't,
then
doesn't have a
I
DC
know.
associated with it.
Yep. Then it's a stacking DC. So I understand. So yeah. So you see a moonbeam get called down, and it like lands right on top of that little dude, and it just starts cooking him. And he screeches. And he basically gets like cooked alive inside that moonbeam. Gonna start his next initiative at 1 hit point in that moonbeam. So no matter what, he did. So you just start to see him like sizzle and pop. And that's that. Next, dude with the crossbow like drops it and like pulls out his battle axe and charges the little shit who hit him with a fucking pickaxe.
Little fuckers.
He will swing.
We're
There were
surrounded by them.
three of them attacked you guys, and he'll swing and swing wide, and then little guy will like smile and duck. He misses. And then we go to the bad guys. Turkey.
Hey.
2 people will attack you and miss as they like clang off your shield and armor collectively. And as they attempt to attack him as well, even before rolling the disadvantage die, they will miss. So, as you provide cover for your new friend Uriel. Little dudes. One is being cooked to death. The one being whipped. How does the spell wear off after you move him 10 feet? Or does it continue to grab him?
Wears off. It's
Okay,
instantaneous.
So he's bleeding. He's gonna like take another pickaxe out of his backpack and like charge you. Like meh. All the while shouting pejoratives at you. A 18 will hit your armor class, I imagine.
Yes.
You will take 3 points of damage. So he like runs up and he's like, "Ah!" And it almost like bounces off of you, but you're pretty sure it's gonna leave a bruise. Be a nasty bruise, but that is about it.
So you have that
Yes. Jesus Christ, what'd you do to yourself?
fridge.
Oh, cute.
Like, ow. I mean, okay, but ouch, though.
He's just like,
This was a terrible mistake.
I ask him free action, right?
yeah.
Is your name Aaron? Because you done fucked up, Aaron.
Yeah. Moving back around, Chris, you are up.
Time to just swing at another dude.
Yes, it is.
When was my turn?
Dan, right now. Sorry, my bad. You're at the very end, and you just got done talking shit, so I just assumed you was dead. I don't know why. It was your turn. Yep. All right, go on. Do what you do.
Melee attack.
Sure.
Spear. That's a 23 to hit.
Oh yeah, he's hit.
Oh, come on. 3 points.
He was already hit for what 7 before you said?
No, he took 5, I think.
5,
No,
and now he's taking
He took 7.
Or he took 7.
7, and now he's taking.
Yep.
Yeah, he looks pretty brutal. He looks bad. All right, Chris, you are up.
Hi.
Swing away.
Yep, swing at somebody.
Yep.
Oof. That would be 11.
And 11 will not hit. Yep, your weapon like comes to a halt on someone's shield as you swing. MTBS.
Is that one still there?
Oh yeah. The cooked one's dead, but you could move to shoot at the one over there in combat with Uriel's bro, or you can move to shoot the one that's in combat with Dan.
There's no one else around. Where
Yeah,
we
you
are,
killed
right?
the only one
Okay.
who jumped you.
Whichever one's closest.
They're equally different. If you shoot the one that Dan's on, it's guaranteed to die. It looks pretty fucked up. Or
I'll
you
shoot
could
it.
help out Uriel's bro. It's up to you.
Ask whoever was closest.
Like I said, they're
They're
both
He said
equally
you're
the same.
equidistant.
Who do you like more?
Oh, hell.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's basically all you have to do. It's just decide who you're helping.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna hit.
Okay.
You
So
got
you're
15
you're
plus
adding
the 9.
Yeah. You definitely hit. So roll 2d8 plus 2.
Second D. Nine.
Yeah, he did. You like shoot him and he like gets hit in the side of the neck and he's just like it like hits the ground and he's just to his last pejorative breath screaming.
These things sound like deadites with the way they cuss all the time.
Moving down is the good guys.
Welcome, Carrot Top.
Uriel will swing to try to like clear room
No,
and
nod.
basically miss everybody. Other attack, he will take down another hedge knight.
So now there's 2 left.
There's 2 left. He crumples another one with his sword. Next, well, let's see. She's going to. Cast Thorn Whip. And she's going to pull the little dude after she hits him for a fuck ton of damage. And pull him like right underneath the dude with the axe. And he's going to take a free attack of opportunity. And he will hit. Somebody roll me percentile. I don't care who. Okay. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So she hits him and like pulls him forward. He basically just like spins his axe and fucking like pulls it across the creature's throat, and his head just falls right off his body.
Nice.
Yeah, it was
It's me and Keld's combo.
yeah, it was.
That's our first combo.
Feel like there's some side synergy going on over here.
Mm-hmm.
Like oh,
Theming.
shit. Aside from that, he's gone. He would get an attack. He will now, after that attack of opportunity, charge and miss again because apparently that's what he does. It's his whole character shtick.
This guy sucks,
Unless
dude.
it's fucking handed to him, he won't hit.
Apparently, he only works well when synergizing with others. He has no productivity on his own. Good workflow, guy. All right. Next, we have the baddies. Swing and a miss on both of you. And there are no more little creatures hanging out and about. So that is the end of that. And we go to Dan. Dan, you're up.
What's my distance from
Like
evil
50
bros?
feet now.
Shit.
Yeah. It looks like they're just kind of wrapping up. I don't know
Okay.
if there's anything you want to do.
Now I'll move.
Like the women and children that are nearby are all like spooked out and are like, oh my god.
I'll move between Uriel Turkir and the group of people
All right.
and post up.
Cool. All right. Then we have Chris. You're up, man.
Gotta swing at a dude.
Yep.
That'll be 17.
You will certainly hit.
Nope. And that'll be 11.
You crumple one right away. Pull like a combo with Uriel. He like goes high and you go low. He basically like slashes up as you like brush the dude's legs out from underneath him. MTBS.
Guess shoot at the one that's left, right?
There's one left if you would like to shoot at it.
Yeah.
Okay.
14, so
You
9's
will hit.
definitely gonna hit.
Yep. It is not injured, so it's just 1d8.
Yeah. 1.
Plus
1
Plus,
plus 2 is
2 is
3
3.
altogether. But you see the hedge knight get struck in the chest with an arrow. And as it like was like moving to swing, gets struck with an arrow, kind of like jolts back. And Uriel takes the opportunity. Make short work of it as it cuts it from chin to groin and splits it. All right. You guys fall back in line. The other dude who like took a pickaxe to the shoulder, he like you see him pull out like a little vial and he drinks it, and that's fucking threatens, and they can all move back into line and start escorting again. Everybody seemed a little panicky, but nobody like ran or anything. Just had it under control. So
Good.
Yep. As you move the refugees into the camp, would anybody like to say or do or interact with any of the other people around you?
I'm gonna talk to Porcelain Bitch.
So you leave your post and move to the rear.
Which?
Is there anything you would like to say before the giant looks back and says switch, other than I suspect will be a resounding fuck yourself?
I'm not moving from where I am. I've got the bow. What do you have?
You've seen me call heavenly fury from the fucking sky. You've seen me.
I've also seen you almost take a buck dick.
he's got you. I'm sitting there like doing a light tap on my shield, like, guess who's thirsty?
This is the last time I do anything nice for you. You bone arming wearing.
Can you even get
motherfucker.
it up being dead like you are?
I don't even know if I'm dead. We don't know if I'm dead.
He has a pulse. Blood's flowing. He doesn't. If you were to like use your ability, he doesn't feel undead.
Carrick. You can take it back. I'm just fucking with
All right. So I just want
They like move positions.
you.
You,
I'll like low key give you like a little bro fist from the bottom.
like go stand near her, and she looks at you and says, "Not quite sure how tactically sound that was, but
I just have a question.
okay, quest away."
So I couldn't help but notice that you are also a druid. From which circle do you hail?
I hail from a circle of my own design.
That's fascinating. I am going to. My name, or you can call me Carrick. I'm a druid with no home. And what would be your name?
I am a druid with no name. They call me the Willow Woman. That is what they have designated me. I have accepted that.
Mysterious lady.
Understood. I'll head back to my post. Switch.
She seems perplexed when you like come back and stand near her.
He had a nerdy moment
I had a
seeing
question.
another druid.
I just don't run into druids very often. And that's what I'm gonna say as we're like trading posts. I just don't very often, man. What do you want from me? I'm gonna head back to my post and consider wild shaping because I haven't done it at all this game.
Sure. You just wild shape with a bunch of like innocent people around you and they freak out and run away.
No. Fell wolf.
You like immediately turn into a bear and everybody's just like fuck and runs away back into the city.
He's already done that before.
So I'm just gonna.
How about you, big
Meanwhile,
boy?
I'm having like a real moment
Yep.
by like being in front of the group of refugees that we're sending out,
Yep.
kneeling down and giving them a blessing as they escape the city.
Well, are you talking to Uriel at all as you guys are basically walking to the gates? You can see the gates from where you're at. You're still
Yeah,
walking there.
they're not gone
Yeah, I
yet.
thought- I thought
I'm
we
just
were
asking
there.
if you're talking to Uriel at all.
We're walking and talking.
Yeah, that's some impressive combat skills you have.
Because you are, who think you might be being very humble if you aren't comparing yourself.
It's always fun to go into battle with someone who knows what they're.
You just wanted to be a part of the action.
Hey,
Dumb, floppy-eared.
Yeah, you look like a little gerblin.
Yeah, it does.
this is what threw the pickaxe at you.
They were not nearly as cute. Unfortunately, I've seen my fair share of violence.
Unfortunately, we do not see an end.
It is good that beings and creatures such as us exist. Help out these wayward in their times of trouble. And that's roughly the same time you guys kind of like get there and kind of you're like overtaken as the refugees like as soon as you guys hit the gates they just start like pouring down to like into the camp and stuff, and like a bunch of people are like reuniting with some of their loved ones and other people are just like looking for people, and it's a wild batch of commotion. The guards that are still stationed there are like they seem like the happiest that they've looked probably in days.
Feel good points, boys.
We fucking did it.
And Uriel says, well, there's not much that's here that we can contribute to. Just we turn around. So, are we to head back? Or are we to meet up with the Vanguard?
Tough call there, buddy.
Thought we were gonna defend the.
Don't look at me.
You guys just dumped the refugees off.
Right.
So they're no longer your problem.
We've
And
been
it is defended right now too. So
They've got a contingent.
We've done what we can do. We have done our part. So now it's time
Join
to
our brothers
uphold.
and sisters.
No, it's time to uphold our end of the bargain and to go defend the safe point and go back to the temple. Unless you got a different idea there, buddy. What you got, Mr. Giant?
And it is being defended right.
For how long?
You guys have been fucking clowning on me this whole fucking.
And now we ask you a serious question.
Okay.
I mean, it is true. Both have their cons and pros.
Do you want me to assess how they're doing?
Who's they?
The Vanguard. Everyone, actually.
I mean,
I can get a. We have the rare opportunity to get a bird's eye view.
feel like you're onto something, like a pun. Go fucking scout.
Thank you.
And make sure you scout something as inconspicuous so that way the archers cannot notice you.
As you start to turn into a bird, the willow woman steps forward and says, "Be careful. The enemy does have support there as well."
Woohoo. No, I mean literally, they probably have fucking owls. Woohoo.
Hoot hoot. Stupid.
Hoot hoo.
All right.
Kick off.
I guess I'll take off in a kind of a low arc at first, kind of see what I can see. Trying to just get an idea of the status of the Vanguard.
As soon as you take off and get airborne, roll me perception.
Perception is 21.
All right. You see a battle for sure. There's a bunch of like smoke and fire and lightning everywhere. You definitely have to get closer. But that's not really what piques your interest at the moment. It would be the three little creatures that just jettisoned themselves off of a fucking rooftop and have started to fly at you.
Unwild shape. Unwild shape.
Just midair, turn into a dude and fall to the ground.
Druid
Okay.
lady could catch you.
No, she can't. Big boy. I've been big boy size this entire time. Okay. Well, what's their bearing and how far away are they?
They aren't too far away. They are beating in pretty quickly.
Dive, dive, dive.
No.
I'm gonna head back to the party.
Sure. You dive in. You like as you hit the ground, basically as you come in. You two roll me perception.
Oh yes, and I'll caw to let them know.
Sure.
I'll just gonna get
12.
Okay. You see like three little creatures like zip above.
I got a 16.
Okay. You see basically.
Okay.
They're like gray blobs basically. They didn't fly like any creature I've ever seen. Natural. Not a natural flight pattern. And didn't see them close and get a good look. But they looked bat-like.
I'll shift back and say to the I'll land near Willow Woman. Say, you weren't wrong.
They will say, "I know. I am the one that informed."
And she's ass.
Boom, 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 boom.
You didn't detect any sass. She said it very matter-of-factly, which is how she's kind of been talking to you guys in general.
I'm not interested in your headcanon. Demon boy.
That's why I have a AC of 20 now, bruh.
And you still got hit.
Twice, I think.
I'd probably be dead right now if I didn't have that armor.
You know. You
You would still have your HP.
roll me an intelligence check. It's been long enough.
Ruh-roh.
Also, you can make another knowledge check if you want for nature.
Okay.
5.
Okay. It hurt.
Knowledge.
Hurts hurt.
21.
Okay. Dryads are. Read you some stuff right quick. Oh, oops.
You had the right
Picked
book.
up the wrong. You know that dryads are typically bound to the spirit of trees, or to something to anchor them to their area. They don't generally leave their grove. They're generally guardians of that grove and are shy and reclusive, but deal with interlopers as they see fit. Typically, they will kill anybody who fucks with their tree. You know that they commonly can communicate with every plant and animal. As far as their actual language skills, you know that they are a small part of the conclave. There is quite a ton of dryads that live in the conclave, and have their own god there. So they do typically speak the same language. Yeah, they definitely have the ability to charm creatures, animals. Are like I said, they're fairly elusive. It does not quite make sense to find them in a city fighting you. You're not quite. That does not make sense. The other creatures that you fought, little humanoids, they are known as Sphere Neblin. They are like a subrace, something that is an offshoot, not quite related to dwarf. They're kind of like a more primal, naturally devious form of a dwarf. Well, with that, you know that they're based on the subrate. They're more related to a halfling or a gnome, which there are halflings that are native to Aurok, but there are no gnomes in Aurok. So Sirneblin are not native to the Enclave or the Conclave either.
Right.
So you're not sure where these creatures came from because they're certainly not native to Aurok.
Oh, I have an idea.
Yeah. Yes, you do. You have an idea. With that, you guys make your way back to. The temple. And it does not take long before you hear a horn. Sound out to the east. And as you run outside, you actually see a runner heading out, heading towards you guys, who proclaims that the docks require assistance. They right now.
On the
That
next
Where
episode
we will end.
of Dragon Ball Z.
Yep, and that is where we will end episode 9.
Well, fun.
That was a good one. I like fighting stuff. I was gonna almost get my achievement of not wild shaping in a whole episode.
Almost.
Almost. Yeah, so I'm really bummed. I wanted to do a sweet combo move with Lothar because when I was checking for my charm immunity, I discovered something that I forgot to put on my character sheet.
What dat?
I have the power to turn invisible.
Nice.
What's the combo with Lothar?
The combo with Lothar would have been if I was close enough to the Dryad and had free of my attackers, I would have gone invisible and ambushed the Dryad, like sneak attacked.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can become invisible, and then when I attack, I reveal myself, and then Lothar could have stepped in because we had like close to the same initiative.
Excuse me.
But that was going to be my play. But it just didn't roll out that way. So, but now we know. There's all sorts of things that I can do.
There's too many things you can do.
It went invisible when you flew into the sky.
I can't do both. It's part of my. It's like a combat move.
That's a limitation finally.
Chris, last time I checked, you can deal 36 fucking points of damage. So
Yeah, if I stack everything.
I don't want to hear it.
And I have to like roll well for that too.
I'm functionally the rest of I'm like, I'm gonna make an attack roll. 3 points of damage later. I'm like, oh, okay.
I guess you forgot
Yeah,
about the other
my
lady.
minimum is 5, I think.
Forgot about which other lady.
The other one you swooned over for a
Oh,
little
you
bit.
mean Blondie copper armor? No, I
What
remember
man?
her.
I remember.
There just hasn't been any redheads yet.
All right, Jared, you want to sound us off?
Yep. Well, with that, I'm done taking my notes for the session. I know you guys are. Well, I got to listen to you guys cut up for like the next 30 minutes. So, with that, we'll go ahead and sign off from episode 9. It has been fantastic to be here, and excellent to get another session under our belt. I've had a lot of fun.
We get better every time at
yeah.
playing Dungeons and Dragons. So
One day will be great.
It has been a dope AF session, as the kids are saying these days. I have been your DM. Jared is enraged. And moving from my right to the other side of the table, we've been joined by...
roll critical fit.
Hi, your friendly neighborhood. I am the Neckbeard.
Yep.
And Makolo.
The only person who said his actual name. There you go.
True story.
Goodbye, baby chickens.
Baby chicken.